Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters. That's right, Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. We are on the air all over the world. Welcome to another edition. It's 11:01 p.m. on the east coast of the USA. Brandy, Gabe, Cohen, Rebecca, Meriwether, Liz Yarrow, everybody out there, SML Lake, Sky, Yo. Hey, for all our relatives, good to see you. Tahar. And everybody come and see Coleman. All of everybody. User 5MG. Dorita, thank you. Thank you for the Join Me team. Good to have everybody coming in here. John, Sari, thanks for the follow. Steve. You're watching Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. Robin, everybody and anybody out there around the world, welcome to the show. Robert Bradford, Elmo something, welcome to the show. Joel. And this is a show where anything is possible. It's also here, we're here to bust the matrix, as always. This is the one and only spiritual UFO talk show that goes where no other talk show goes on social media, and even on major media, and even on cable. Because here, we have guests from all over the place that have encounters, visitations, UFO sightings or spaceship sightings, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, mer people, fairies. It all happens here. Hey, Katie, good to have you with us. Right here, right now. Etheric Mystic, good to see you. Nick, everybody coming in here. Vikoresh. Dajay, hey Dajay, good to have you with us. Judy White. I'm just kind of looking at some of the names here. Chester. Adrian. Hetty, welcome. Thanks for the share. Paul 345, good to see you. Boston Boy, good to have you with us. Everybody out there around the world, welcome to the show. And we're just getting started. Hey, Deborah. Alvio. Hey, Bernie. Good to have you with us. Bernie, Sammy. Miss Liberty Craw. White Rabbit. Good to see you. Golden Bear. Hey, Golden Bear. So we're just, hey, Sherry Watson, user 521. TI-74. Anna. Wherever you are here with the commander. Hey, Shell Bell. And we got our apple cider going here tonight. Calico Girl, good to see you. Lavola, Aussie Ocean, thanks for the share. Delta 605, good evening. Lisa, good evening. Perfect, good evening. Leah, good evening. Leah, Diane. Hey, Gary, love from Iowa, good to have you with us. Jago, good to have you with us. Seeker, Marie. Night Owl, thanks for the follow. SML Lake, thank you for the join my team. Toddy, welcome to the show, Toddy. Eber, welcome to the show. I'll just call you Callie. Adele, welcome. Thank you for the share. Sometimes it's me. Good to have you with us. And just everybody here, Stella Bella, everybody out there, wherever you are, I acknowledge everybody coming in from all over the place. And our, hey, Lexicon, we've got all our shows caught up here on our YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. So you should see all the latest shows. I might be one shy, but I think all the shows are on there now. We were backlogged by about 2 or 3 shows. Hey, Cynthia, thanks for the share. So you can watch all the previous shows on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Hey, Rachel, thanks for the heart me. Thank you. Freedom Maiden, good to have you reporting for duty on Encounters. RH, welcome. Gail Pardee. Philip, welcome to our show. Everybody coming in there, please share and like with people that you know should be here. And I know my headphones are working because I can hear sounds coming through them. So that's good. Let's see how long that lasts. Rachel True Calls, thank you for the lightning bolt. Len Gaffney. And if you're just coming in here, you haven't missed anything yet. Deborah says, posted more sky video and pictures from Sunday on my YouTube command. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for the helmet, dear Juliet. Thank you so much for the helmet. Greetings. Thank you for the jalapeno chili. Rachel, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Heavy Hauler, welcome to the show. Pixelated, thanks for the follow. Thank you so much. White Rabbit has a question. Go ahead, right. I think it's White Rabbit. Yes, go ahead. Namaste, Stargazer. Deborah, you think I sent them to you? CC3PO, beam me up, Scotty. I don't have any updates tonight, really. Not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty much going with the flow tonight on the show. I think the best updates we'll have are from people having experiences. Cindy, Mitch, good to see you. Blessings. Kissy, welcome to the show. Kaisha, Walt 284, Marinette, peace, love, and light to you. Single track, welcome. Jenny, I think it is, welcome to the show. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. If you're not here, you're missing a lot. But if you are here, you're not going to miss anything. You see, that's the key, to be here now and not miss anything, right? April's coming. Okay, Stargazer, very good. And hey, Johnny, good to see you, brother. So we are on the air. A UFO or a comet? Living waters heal. What is a UFO or a comet? Is there something I should know about that I'm not aware of? Denise, welcome to the show. Jose, welcome. Gummy on a Stick. That's a good name. What a UFO or a comet? I don't know what I know what that's referring to. Did something happen around the planet that I'd missed? Supported April today. Bless her heart. She was so sad. Oh, I'm glad you supported her. We don't want her to be sad. We want her to be happy. You know? Thank you for doing that. You know? And Guilfrey, thanks for joining us. Sylvia Flores, welcome. Tammy, welcome. Blackyard Nature, I like that name. BBK, Foolish Heart. Some good names here. T-Style, welcome to the show. Burp, that's a good name. All kinds of creative names here. Hey Jane, welcome to the show. Question Everything, welcome. Extra Tria, RRC 1425 790. Despedito, I think it is. Amelia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these things. But welcome everybody. Cadillac Sweet, welcome to the show, Cadillac. Sin Finn, not bad, posted dad. When will serious evidence be available? I wasted my time with congressional hearings. Yeah, congressional hearings are a waste of time. If you want truth, you've come to the right place, not bad. Because on this show, everything and anything cosmically will happen. And it does. Hey, Greta, you found the right place. You're not going to find it in any government. You're not going to find congressional hearings giving you the overwhelming disclosure truth. We know what that was like when it happened last year. A waste of time. Hey, Sarah, because a lot of people were hoping for a lot of things, and what do you know? Nothing's happened in Congress. Nothing's happened in England, France, or Germany, or anywhere else. Whereas the great, I hope April's okay too. I wasn't on there. I don't know what's happening, but I hope she's okay. And I do know that if we want disclosure, all these public hearings are it's basically for show. Get this. It was always to make the public become sheep. Oh, we'll give them a public hearing about UFOs and UAPs and all this other stuff. You know? But the fact of the matter is, when they did the UFO hearings last year, I said, maybe there's a little bit of hope that there's something that they're going to do that's going to be dramatic, and we're finally going to get the truth from these people. April's coming in 10 minutes. Okay, Bernie, we appreciate that. Hey, Dana, Linda. So, you're right to say that it was a waste of time to watch the hearings. with Congress, because the ones that want the truth, they're never going to get it. They're outnumbered. Heather and Son, yeah, I mean, that certainly is something you could coordinate. If you wanted to, you could coordinate it and have people protest in the street for disclosure. Hollywood, hello, Commander and everyone. Good to see you, Hollywood. And that's not a bad idea, you know. I think if people over the world were in the streets saying we've had enough of the lies about extraterrestrial intelligence and about the fact that we haven't been visited, or you know nothing about it in our own, whatever government you have in your country, I think that would shock them if people actually massively around the world started saying we want the truth. You know, it could happen. Only it takes one person to make something big like that happen. But you got encounters. And the thing is, wow, April's Furies were dancing to the peppermint twist. The peppermint twist. I remember that song. Hey, Romeo. Hey, Kit Kat. So we have an enormous amount of possibilities here. Hey, Marianne. Hello. Hello, Sambria. Welcome. You know, we have the enormous possibilities of doing so many good things to bring about the truth. And the truth is, we're doing it right here. We're doing it right on this show, believe it or not. We are here doing it on this show. Every one of you is bringing the truth. Every one of you has something to contribute. Every one of you has a story to tell. Disclosure, I've always said it before. It's on this thing, on my show here, on my radio show for 21 years, and here. And then the shows are put on YouTube, so people on YouTube get to see the shows who are not on TikTok. So we're utilizing Earth-based media, and we are making a difference. And no one's ever going to stop it. That's the beauty of this show. You know, every time I come on with the show, before I come on, I ask the Ashtar Command to protect the program, to protect all those that come into the show. I always do that for the show. Before I even go live, I ask the Ashtar Command to protect my Encounter show. And I know it's being protected. Catherine, hello, good evening, good to see you. Amy, good evening, Amy. Rodney, good to have you with us. Richard Rogers. Oh yeah, that was rude. I saw that. I would have, if I was on there, I would have taken them out. So, you know, I don't know if the moderators were on, you know, that or not. But if I ever see that person, I would take him out. I should have been on there for a little bit. I was just in and out doing stuff. Hey, Susie, good to have you with us. Will Jr., welcome. Everybody coming in here. Relax. We have a big studio. Dwayne. One of the things about this show here, we don't get very many trolls in here, but when we do, my moderators and myself will do one thing. We'll give them a chance for redemption, or if the comment is really kind of going in the negative way, we will just block them right out of the show. And then they can't watch it anymore. You know, but we do what we do. We run a good show here, and we have a lot of good people, a lot of good viewers all over the world. We appreciate you all. And the way we do the interviews on the program is this. If you have a story to tell, if you've had any encounters, visitations with space people, we will actually, George Norrie, I used to actually watch Art Bell. I called Art Bell many years ago when he was living in the trailer. I call him on AM radio, on AM station in New England somewhere at 1 in the morning. Hey, L1NZ1. Destiny, welcome. Excuse me. Miss Art Bell. Miss Art Hell? Miss Art Bell. Yeah, we used to listen to him many years ago. But I will say this, if you wish to be a guest on our show here on Encounters, you have to be over 18. Over 200 followers get you on audio. Over 800 get you on video and on camera. The other thing is no foul language whatsoever, no drinking, no smoking, no paranormal discussion, and that's pretty much it. He did have a great show out in the desert. So that's how we do it here. And we always have somebody who's got something to share regarding ETs, the star beings, the galactic cosmic area. And I know that when we have so many people on here every night, I know there are people that have quietly had things happening. And I always ask this question. I love to ask this question of my audience. How many of you are having, and be honest, and you've never talked about it, having encounters and visitations right now with space people? How many people have physically been having quietly in your lives recently contact? How many people? Yes, no, maybe? How many? Don't be afraid to share. I'm a contactee. I had contact when I was a kid. Don't be afraid to share. 777 had a few in 2021. Diane Stadler's still waiting. Hi, Rhonda. Oh, you haven't had any Rhonda yet. No worries. Not me neither. No, a lot of no's. Maybe. Maybe one day for me. Maybe. Still waiting. No, but I want to. And that's okay. This is the beautiful part of it. You will eventually have contact. You might not be having it yet, but you will. Does spaceships in your dreams count? Yes. Spaceships in your dreams. UK, CIA, USA file disclosure. I thank God or Jesus came to me in my dreams. Etheric. I saw ships back in the 70s. I cooked breakfast for some the other day. Ha ha ha. Hey, Rick. Very good. Summer Mason. Then yes. Does source count? And it's good. I mean, there's a lot of people yet to have any direct encounters, but that's always one of my questions for my audience. I'm always intrigued by the answers people give us about that. Hey, Scott Hammond, it's good to see you. Eddie G, welcome, Eddie G. Magzilla H, Tom and Jerry, EMS, welcome, EMS. So the question I have here for new people coming in here, we have 207 people. Out of 207, how many of you are actually having visitations or just starting having visitations with star people or space people? How many? Now we know the ones that haven't. How many of you out there are having contact? I could do a poll, but I'd rather just ask people directly. I find it interesting to hear what people's responses on that. Trisha Northstar says, I have, yep. Yep, that does definitely that, Johnny, that counts, yeah. Hey, Karen Morgan, welcome. And Deborah says, oh my gosh, I meant to tell you 3 weeks ago in my dream, driving, I see 936 in the sky in the clouds. Aussie Ocean, I'm going to... So Bella still having contact? Miller, that's okay. Once you get used to this most popular spiritual UFO show, I'm a talk show host on radio, a contactee, and also I've come out of the closet years ago that I come from Mars, a planet of 10 to 15 million inhabitants. I'm also a talk show host of WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Radio, NPR Pacific Radio for 21 years. So I have a big broadcasting background. I did some TV, years ago in the early 90s, and I'm totally involved in this whole thing. Aussie Ocean, would you like to come up on the show? Let's see here. You have over 1,000 followers. Would you like to share your experiences with visitation? And if you do, let me know. SMLink, I videoed a white orb. I met Betty Hill back in the 90s, early 90s. Oh, yes, Millard. So if you hear the word starseed, many people, even some of my people that are, I say my people that watch the show, have come out of the closet, say they come from the Pleiades or they come from other star systems, and they'll say it right in the comments. For me, before coming to Earth, I came from Mars, which is a living, breathable planet now where people do live. So yes. In my current history, Mars is a place where I came from. Shan says, I'm from Mars too. Good to meet you. Good to meet you, Shan. Greetings, Pleiadian Crusader. I could choose to go back there, but I don't need to. I have mission work to do here. My background is, before I came to Earth, I did mission work. I was an intergalactic communicator with the Ashtar Command. I actually, on the ships, did intergalactic communications using crystallized structures between different Ashtar Command groups off planet. So I did that. And I'm doing the same thing here, except instead of crystals, I'm on radio, I'm using social media. So I've adapted to what we have here on Earth, and we are reaching a lot of people. So, yeah. And this is why I do what I do here, is to help people come together, share their stories. We love to hear people's visitations, from Germany to Africa to Pacific Ocean area to wherever they are, U.S., Central, South America. Many people are having all kinds of experiences, and I find it very interesting. Sean, when you say you didn't choose to go, did you have an encounter with space people that took you on their ship? I'm just reading your comment. I didn't choose to go. They took me when I was in my 20s. They healed me. Would you, Shan, like to come on my show and talk about that? Would you be willing? Let me see how many followers you have here. Oh, Shan has 81 followers. We need to get Shan up to 200. No, my parents are on a spaceship. My parents are on a spaceship, and my parents are Luna. Her name is Luna, and there's a drill bar, and then I have two sisters and a brother that are on a spaceship. Okay. But I would definitely, Shan, everybody, we're going to say, I want everyone to follow this person. We want to get them up to 200. They're at 80, almost 90. We need to get them up tonight to 200. And we have 226 people. Now, if everybody would do what I'm asking them to do, I can interview this person. I didn't choose to go. They took me when I was in my 20s. They healed me. I think there's an interesting story here, and I want to hear it. Can everybody follow SHAN right now? Can everybody follow that person so that we can actually get to hear their story? And I want to see where they are right now. This is what we do. I've done this all the time. So there's still 81 people. Oh, Shan, you have to change. You have to change your setting. Nobody can follow you. Go into your settings on TikTok and change it right now to public. You have it set to private. Therefore, nobody can increase your amount of followers. You only have 81. Change your setting. You might have to go in and back out. Yeah, you have to change your setting because when I press follow, it's not letting me do it. You have to change your setting. You might have to go off of the live here, go into your settings, and into the profile thing, change it to public. And then we can get you up there. Hey, April. Hey, sister. How you doing? We have our sister. My sister lives in Vermont. I want to meet the Ashtar family. Hey, Watkins. And eventually, many people will, you know? It's all a matter of time. All a matter of time. Oh, I didn't see it, but I see you now. I was trying to get everyone to follow this person, but they have their setting to private. The SHAN person. Hey, Jackie F. So, and we have our whole grouping of beautiful people here. Millard says, so is the population you speak of mainly subterranean? The Mars population used to be mainly subterranean, but the Martian population also can walk on Mars, and the actual atmosphere on Mars now, today, if you were to ask me, is breathable. So the Martian population is able to... Hey, Chesno, I didn't know if Chesno's in here. He is? Okay. Hey, Chesno. Man, I must be oblivious. Good evening, Chesno. Good evening, everybody else. But yeah, the Martian population is able to go on the surface. You won't see much of that. Hey, good to see you, Scrubs USA. You won't see much of that going on because of our stuff we have with NASA. They don't want to show you people walking on Mars. Their rover that shows you certain things, but they don't always show you the people that are working on Mars. That would kind of like be, if they were to show you people on Mars walking around in certain parts of the planet, it probably would blow the lid off of the cover-up about our universe. You see? What do you think they haven't found? Why do you think they haven't found life on Mars yet? Or do you think they have? Heather and Son. Very good. Thank you for the opening there. The beautiful part about it, Heather and Son, is I come from Mars. You know, that's where I came from. I came out of the closet many years ago. I actually remember, I told this story once or twice. When I was a kid playing stickball with 2 or 3 other kids, I said to them out of nowhere, I said, I'm from Mars. They were not happy about it. I remember that story. I told kids when I was a teenager that when I was early teens or right before teenage life, we were playing stickball. I said, oh, I come from Mars. They were so upset with me for saying that. Then I went underground for many years and I never said it again. But, you know, on my radio show, I've said it. I'm from Mars. Thank you. I'm proud of the fact that's one of the planets I came from. I remember everything about the planet, and I'm very proud of the people on Mars. How did your family take the news? You know, the funny thing is, I never told my parents that I came from Mars, or my brother. I never told any of them, my biological Earth parents. It's a good question you asked. I remember, I never told anybody in the family. Nobody ever knew. Don't know why, I just never told anybody. I mean, the only thing I told them is the night I was going upstairs out of nowhere from the kitchen to my brother's bedroom and seeing a spaceship with men and women in light blue outfits. They never came upstairs, and after that happened, I never talked about it again as a kid. I never told my parents about the experience or anything. I just kept it myself, you know. Yeah, we have a train station a few blocks away, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, the train just went by. So the train went by. Have you ever heard of the Russian boy from Mars? Yes. Yes, so there is a Russian boy. He's probably way older now, but that Russian boy from Mars remembers everything. So yeah, that Russian boy was telling the truth when he talked about him coming from Mars in Russia. There's a video on YouTube of him speaking about Mars. The young boy from Mars, yes. Yeah, I came from Mars before coming to Earth. I chose to come here, but I also, at the same token, before I came to Earth, I was on a spaceship with the Ashtar Command. And I always remembered working with intergalactic communications off planet, which is way different than Earth-based media. We used crystallized structures to communicate with the ships. Not like you have crystals here that you put on in a meditation room. We had certain crystals that we used that would communicate with the ships. Did I get to pick my Earth family? Interesting question. I didn't even know what family I was going to be with. I had no idea. And Shan, if you can get your profile switched to public, people can follow you. Hey, Daniel. So I don't know if that's a really good question. I don't think I picked my family. I just think I ended up with them. We're doing good, Daniel. I just think I ended up with that family. I don't think humans' existence are chosen by the lessons we have to learn. Hey, Rod, and April saying humans' existence are chosen by the lessons we have to learn. You see her from a distance. Shan, can you switch your profile to public so I can get everybody to follow you and can hear your story on here with at least audio? Do you know how to do that? Hey, Rod, good to see you, brother. UFO God, welcome to the show. And everybody out there around the world. One of the questions for those that missed it earlier, I wanted to ask you if you wanted to share. Don't be afraid. Mystic, thank you for the heart. How many people, hey, Commander, you could have a past life regression? I was hypnotized a number of years ago by somebody who dealt with this. And when they hypnotized me, it was recorded on a cassette. I still have it somewhere. I went back to Atlantis. Oh, okay. All right, another time, just set your thing to public, and we'll have people follow you so you can come on live. Scott I think it's Scotton D. Dow has a question. Go ahead. So I did have a regression by a hypnotist who was involved with ET contact many years ago. I think it was like early 90s. I do lives every night, mostly at 11 o'clock. This is the most popular UFO spiritual talk show on social media. So you'll usually catch me at 11, unless I take a night off. Sometimes I take one night off just to regenerate. But when I was hypnotized by the hypnotist, she was really good. It was up in Massachusetts. And I'm not sure how I met this person, but I went up and we were hypnotized. And I went back to Atlantis. And when she hypnotized me, I was like, she was asking me questions about Atlantis, and she told me, do I remember anything? And I talked about Atlantis in my being hypnotized. And that the first thing I remember is seeing a lot of people traveling in a tubular structure. Oh, Boston, well, you're in Massachusetts. Okay. And so I remember being hypnotized and like talking about Atlantis like I was there, and I see all these people. Hey, Edward, I see all these people like walking all over the place, like a really busy place, Atlantis. Like people were in like a train station, but it wasn't a train station, Atlantis. It was some sort of transportation system. And there were all these people dressed in really beautiful outfits, and they were all in this walking area. And then there was these tubular transport systems in Atlantis. And I remember seeing them. And when she hypnotized me, she took me brought me back. I remembered all the things she told me about, all the things that I told her about my experience. And I listened to the recording, and it was amazing what I learned from that, and that was the only time I was ever hypnotized and had that experience. So how do you, it said, I listened to the recording. So after she was taping me in my when I was hypnotized on cassette, she was taping me on cassette, the audio. And then I got to listen to the audio and take it home with me, and I listened to it. And from being hypnotized, what I said was on the recording. I still have the tape somewhere. Hey, River Blue. How do you figure out how old you are? How do you figure out how old you are off planet or in general? Thanks for the roses there, UFO God. Interesting question. How do you... thank you. Thank you for the roses. When will open contact happen? Well, we're looking right now, and that can change. Originally, not last year, in 2022, the timeline was 2027. The timeline for contact now is you're talking 2025 into early 2026. And again, the timelines can change. What we're saying now can change completely 5 months later. 5 months later. All right? So it can change. So when was your birthday? On my birthday on Earth was February 27th. February 27th on Earth. But one of the things I don't believe in, one of the things I've actually been teaching people, and even when I do my workshops, I bring this up and I teach people something. I teach people how to control the aging process. Once in a while, I talk about it on my show. I've learned many years ago how to control the aging process of the human body. Now, whether that's because I got downloaded information, but I do know how we can control the aging process. And I'll share that with you. How many people, and it's not so much trying to do it. The one thing you have to let go of is numbers. Letting go of numbers is the key thing to controlling the aging process. Yes, you can revert. Can I revert my age back? We can slow the aging process and we can revert it back a little bit. So I'm going to share this with you. If you want to control your aging process on Earth as a human being, you can't just say, I believe I can do it, or I'm going to try to do it. I believe, or I'm going to try. I'm going to try or believe. That's just trying and believing. Your brain, your human brain, the one that you actually have that tells you what to do, your human brain, do you know that you can control your brain? How many people control their brains? Not many. Okay? But what happens if you were able to control your human brain and the aging process? Would you do it? I'm not saying to change your aging process so you become a 1-year-old baby again. Thank you, River Blue. Thank you. But we have the ability to control our brain. If we learn how to control the brain, we can control the aging process. The brain is like a computer. Juliet, thank you. So I'm going to teach you something here that I've never really talked about here, about how to control your brain as a human being and how to reverse the human aging process. You know, people get old, what you term old on Earth. People get old on this planet. The people that do get old on this planet get old because they believe that's what happens. They believe it. They believe that they get old. They're always told as they get older, they're going to get old. And then the old people say, sometimes you're going to look back and wish you were young again. And this is all part of the brain's programming, the human brain's programming. So old people say, oh, I wish I was young again, because they allowed themselves to get old because they didn't know how to control their brain to control the aging process. But you can control the aging process on Earth. But most people don't do it. Yeah. Sue says 20, 30 years younger would be sweet. So here's a little practice I'm going to give you here on this show. I'm going to give you a little bit of information. And I want you to practice it and see, without thinking about it, without trying to do it, without trying to think whether I can do it or not. Tell yourself, yes, I can do this. Tell your mind you can do it. Tell your mind you control your brain. Your brain does not control you as a human being, right? If you believe that you can control your brain, you can control your aging process. But if you don't truly believe that you control your brain, then the brain controls you, right? And for most humans, the brain controls the human being, not the opposite. So here's the secret to aging. Now you might not think it's a secret. Maybe it's not. Depends how you look at it, right? If you want to change the way you perceive aging, you have to believe in it 1,000%. If you don't believe that you have controlled the aging process of your own physical human body, then it won't change. It's free will. You have a choice to freely, gracefully get older. And maybe you don't have any wrinkles. Maybe you do. Maybe your hair falls out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe your nose gets bigger. Maybe it gets smaller. Maybe your eyes bulge out. Maybe they don't. What I'm saying to you is, you have the potential to do so much more with your whole being than you do now. You've been taught on Earth that you get old. You get born, you have birthdays every year, you're getting older, 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 older. That's the deal with Earth. You keep getting older, right? So everybody falls in this trap. You know, for instance, it's been since 11. Oh, April's talking about when she's had contact. So we have the potential to stay younger if we are willing to do the work. The work is to not believe everything your mind tells you. We are so easily fooled by our brain. You know, it tells us everything. It tells us what it wants us to do. It tells us, tells us when to be afraid of something. It tells us when to be happy. It tells us when to be sad. Our brain does all that. It's like a little computer in our head. Really. That's what the brain is. This little computer. Some people have bigger brains. Other people have little brains. It doesn't matter. You have a brain. Right? You have a brain. Before I bring you on as a guest, I'm happy to do it. Tell me what you wish to talk about, but let me get to finish this point about the brain. I've made a decision many years ago that I am not going to allow myself to age and become a falling apart, wrinkled person with one half of my face falling out and the other half of my face staying up. I'm just kind of kidding there. But you know what I mean. I don't believe in aging. I've told my brain every day for many years now, I'm done. You're not going to age. You're not going to make me age. You're not going to make me, try to act like an old person. I'm not doing it. Whatever that is. An old woman, an old man. I'm not falling into that trap, into that aging trap. When you truly live it, breathe it, and believe it, you will slow down the aging process. Every one of you will. Doesn't matter where you are right now, you can slow it down, you can tweak it up, reverse it a little bit. That's the thing I'm teaching right here. I learned this a long time ago. Whatever it was downloaded in me when I came to Earth, but it wasn't activated in me until I got older. The ability to know how to reverse the aging process or slow it down. Or age the way you want to age. You have many options. Karen says, I believe. Yeah, it's a mindset, Marlene. Yep. How do you believe 1,000%? Well, I believe 100,000%. White Rabbit. I believe somebody was asking how long you were on tonight. I've been on since 11 o'clock tonight. Actually, I was out of body for a while. I went out of body before I came on. I woke up out of body about 15 minutes before 11. Hey, Sheila, good evening. Mr. Jones, if you want to end up in the eternal torment, embrace UFOs. If you want to end up in the eternal torment, are you kidding me? Really? Okay, I think this person needs to go back and be tormented wherever they were tormented. So we just sent that Mr. Jones back to the place where they were tormented, because I guess I don't have any idea what they're talking about. The commander knows how to moderate. We're doing good, Greta. See, these trolls and these people like that, they don't realize they're dealing with the commander. I have a question about your encounters. Yes. Oh, you do? Okay, I'll bring you up. Are you over 18? We'll definitely do it. Let's see here. You'll be our first guest on audio. Now, I hope my headphones are working tonight because they were working before. So go ahead with your question about encounters. I did see you, and I did actually send you a guest request to come up. Ah, Johnny, good. Marlene says, I feel the same way. I never get into age, Red One. I never talk about age. Because if I start talking about aging process, about what I am in an age, I've actually learned, when I learned how to control the aging process, one of the things I never talk about is my age. That's one of the key things. When you're talking about controlling age, you don't even mention age. Howard says, I believe it totally. Being optimistic is the best thing ever. I don't look at my age neither, Karen says. I believe in God too. Shan says, I don't look my age either. And I believe that, Karen. I don't even feel my age. Karen, that's good. That's a good thing. Every day I tell myself my skin is never going to age. And that's the truth. And you can tell your brain, and you're telling yourself that, but tell your brain, I'm not gonna age. The furthest I could get is trying. Let's see here. But I thought it's not a belief, Cassie, it's not so much a belief, it's a living experience. So, but you have to believe that you're not going to age first in order to control the aging process. Heather and Son, when you say out of body, do you mean depersonalization or fully unaware? Now, when I go out of body, I go off planet. I just don't remember. I just know that I went out of body before. I probably went out of body, I'd say probably for a half hour, 45 minutes. I don't remember anything except that I went off planet or out of body. None guess my age. I do 200 push-ups a day and other Wow. Very good. Do I have to send money? Do you have to send money? To send money where? Why do you have to send money? Where do you have to send money? In regards to what is the money being sent for? Can you reverse your age on camera for us so we can believe too? Well, look at me right now. I'm going to do a little experiment. I've never done this since you asked me to do this. And your perception of me, if you're looking at me right now without my glasses on here, I'm going to do something. And we're going to see, everyone's going to have a different visual perception of me right now. So we're going to just do this. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to, for a moment, be quiet. And just look in the camera. And let go of your belief systems when you're looking at me. Don't have a perception of what I should be or not should be or anything. Just look at me with an open eye. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to read the comments. Oh, Skip to Grace, how you doing? I'm so engrossed in what I'm doing right now. There is on my profile page, I do have the C5 listed. I sent it on my profile page weeks ago. I didn't make it as a big public thing. I only sent it out to people that are friends like yourself and many others. So if you go on my Ashtar Command main page, it is actually on there as a video. Elaine says, I'm 150 years old. Good for you. Let's see here. I don't feel mine either. So you just change your mind? It's not so much changing your mind. It's actually telling your mind. It's not so much changing your mind. Your brain controls a lot of things, but if you tell the brain that you're going to control it and you're going to control the aging process, you can do it. It can be done. It can actually absolutely be done. The Lord says C5 is Dr. Stephen Greer app for ET visitations and contact. Yes. Lane says should have started 30 years ago. Shane says out of body. I'm just reading people's comments here. Sweet baby Ray, when younger, I saw an orb go through my house. Interesting. So you saw an orb go through your house when you were younger. And sweet baby Ray, what did you feel about that orb? Let's see if we can bring. Let's see. I'm just reading comments. Drummer Jones, we're doing well. I think you're talking to me. Commando apple. Hey, Jaws, man, good to see you. I'm drinking apple cider. Don't ever think I'm not without it, but I have a glass of apple cider, and it is good. The preferred drink of the commander, always. And Deborah, he's not old. Your eyes. Yes, if you look at my eyes, and again, like I said, without thinking and without perceptions or belief systems, when you look at my eyes or look at me before, like I said, it's whatever you're going to see, whatever your mind tells you. It's amazing, all these different numbers coming here, and like I said, every human being's eyes are going to see me differently. It's the perception of your brain transmitting to you what the brain thinks of me. Very interesting. You heard I was 85 years old? Let me tell you something about being 85. 85, yes. I'll go with 85. Absolutely. I love it. If you can focus on your own feelings and love, then you can feel the frequency. Yes. I'm just reading comments. Cartoon, my dog says, heavy. I'm so sad. Something so beautiful happened last night. My cats, they visited me as tigers in my dreams. Oh, okay. Oh, Karen said, you look like a movie star. Thank you. Does anybody else think I look like a movie star? That's a whole nother question, though. If I was in the movies, I would like to be an actor in The Day the Earth Stood Still. That would be the movie I'd want to be in. I never get into it, Cliff. One of my philosophies about aging is that I never talk about what age I am. Because then if I do that, I just look at each year when there's a birthday. I look at each year that when I have what they call a birthday, I celebrate it. It's a great time to celebrate. I just look at it as another year. I don't even think of the numbers, the earth-based numbers. Just one of my philosophies of life is that the numbers mean nothing to me. I love to celebrate, but I don't look at it. Oh wow, now I'm getting a little bit older here, and what am I going to do? So to answer your question, I never mention my age ever. But I think it's great to show people that you can actually learn how to control your aging process. And that is a beautiful thing that most Earth people, if they were willing to do it, they can actually do it. How can you train your mind to control it if you can't do it right away? Well, you can do it right away if you believe you can. You just have to say, okay, I'm going to start right now controlling tonight. I am going to start right now controlling my aging process. But you have to really tell your brain what you think. And once you do that, you're all set. I look like Harold, I think Ramis. I guess that's an actor. I have not heard of that name. Oh, I feel wide awake. I'm not tired. And that's the perception of visualization. Me, I'm wide awake. I think you look like you are in your 30s. You see? And again, everyone's different. It's amazing the various viewpoints about age on here. It's just like when I do this, I have fun with it, and I love to hear the responses because there's so many variations. Some people think I'm 500 years old. Some people think I'm 30. Some people think I'm 60. Some people think I'm 25. And this is the whole thing. It's the fun part of this is it's the perception of what you're thinking, what your eyes show you, what you see in what you're looking at. I always have fun with this. It's just amazing what the variations are. Do I believe in reptoids? The reptoids exist, but they're being taken off planet. The reptilians, you mean? They're being taken off planet. They've been causing a lot of problems for this planet for way longer than you and I even existed. And they are being escorted off the planet. So let's see, The Martian, best movie ever. Dia Rizzo says, so I'm 75 with the mentality of a 25-year-old. Good for you. Good for you there. A kick had a day to celebrate life. Do you believe in... I just answered that question. Let me see here. Hey, Laura. Not at all, Deborah. Not at all. I would never know. Mark Joseph says, I've had a contact dream last night. Mark Joseph, can you give us some indication of what the contact dream was? I keep thinking this person keeps repeating the question. So the one that said, do I believe in reptilians or reptoids? I don't believe in them. They exist, but they're being taken off planet. One of my favorite movies, only the one with Michael Rennie. Alcove, yes, the season. Okay, let's see here. And that's right, Rod. You can manifest anything. Empress Eyes, thank you for the roses. Can I get on a ship? Well, it's not so much getting on a ship, Watkins. It's about focusing on meditation and connecting on your inner level through meditation. And through meditation, it's not so much getting on a ship. It's connecting with your star family. So you need to connect with your star family. Hey, NYC, thank you for the friendship thing. Thank you so much. Thank you for the roses. People need to get in touch with their inner self first before they even think about the potentials of contact with space people of the positive kind. Laura, thank you. Thank you for the team bracelet. Cartoon My Dog, healing yourself is possible. Excuse me. I'm catching up to comments here. Are you married? Yes, I am. I'm happily taken. I'm definitely taken. I'm not available for anybody. Biz Jojo says he believes I'm in my 50s. Thank you, Biz Jojo. Moon Glow, thank you. See, I never talk about it at my age personally, and that's one of my belief systems. And when I've learned how to do this, it's actually controlling the brain. So I tell the brain when somebody says, "Oh, Commander," they want to know what your age is. I said, no brain. We're not talking about that. We don't get into that. We will talk about how to control the aging process. Hey, Flo, thank you. Now I feel like a knight in shining armor. I don't even think I created oh yeah, I do have my goals. I have the helmet. You see, I'm so involved. Hey, Hannibal Reynolds, I feel like I'm becoming a knight in shining armor out there, folks. It's a beautiful thing. I just made myself go dark. How did that happen? Can I make myself go... Somewhere on my screen, I made myself go dark again. I don't understand it. What am I doing? Is there something I'm doing here that can make myself go bright again? Am I getting brighter? Oh, I'm bright. Oh, it did happen. It worked. I don't understand anything about the screen here. What's going on here? Your dad worked at Area 51. Star and Arts, would you like to come on the show? Would you like to come on the program tonight and talk about your dad at Area 51? Can you do that? Now I'm scooping up to... I would love to hear that story. Your dad worked at Area 51. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for a response. I follow him. T Styles, good to have you with us. Me too. Let's hear it. We'd like to hear your story. You just got me very interested in what you just said. Your dad used to work at Area 51. Let's see here. Actually, we're not doing too bad. Area 51. How many people would like this person to come on and talk about their dad working in Area 51? I would certainly like to see that. Let me go backwards if I can find the comment. My dad, hey, Susan Murray, good to have you with us. My dad worked at Area 51. Where are you? Sarium. The reason I call myself Commander is because I'm in command of my own cosmic spirit. Nobody controls me except me. I'm not controlled by anybody but myself. So the reason why I call myself Commander, I'm in command of my cosmic spirituality. The definition of Commander, Sarium, is not the same as Earth-based definitions. Like, you're a military commander in the Air Force. A different understanding. So when I say I'm CmdrAleon, it only means that I'm in command of me, of my own spiritual well-being. Nobody else controls it. Good question. I was happy to scroll back and answer it. Where is that person for Area 51? I hope they're still here. Thank you, Sariam. I have dreams of alien beings working on my body. No pain, just pressure. Cliff Morris. I hope that person's still here about Area 51. I'd like to hear their story. One can only hope. And if you come on and tell the story, that would be great, because we want to have disclosure. If people have people in their families working places like Area 51, we'd love you to talk about what's going on there, whatever they've told you, whatever you know. I think people would be interested in that. I think they're not here anymore, or they're just being very quiet. Cliff Morris says, like they're repairing my body. Interesting, Cliff. I'm reading comments here. Jaws Man, welcome back. Gina, welcome to the show Encounters. For those that are new here, the way the show works, Millard says, I was stationed at Fort Irwin in Southern California. It's about 90 or 100 miles straight through Mojave Desert. Interesting. The way the show here works, if you have over 200 followers, TikTok's rules, you can come on audio. If you have over 800, you can come on and share your story with video, live camera. You have to be over 18, no foul language, no smoking of any sort, no drinking, no drunks of any sort, no foul language, what I say here, over 18, no paranormal discussion. And as long as you follow those protocols of the show, we'll have you on and you can share your story about being taken on a spaceship, visitations, seeing UFOs, you're documenting UFOs or spaceships, Bigfoot, mer people, fairies, which are very much a real part of our world, all those things. And we love hearing about those stories. The inner earth, the cities within the inner earth, all these things we talk about here, just to give you a kind of a gauge, if you're new to the show, what we talk about. This is the #1 spiritual UFO talk show, by the way, on social media. The major media, they don't do what we do here. They don't even do it at all, which is the truth, right? Oh, it's Karen Morgan whose story is Area 51. Come on, Karen. Oh, Karen Morgan. You have a story about Area 51? Karen? Is Karen here? I thought she came in. I'm always interested in stories. I used to work at Area 51. Oh, this isn't Nikki Moto. So, Nikki Moto, you worked at Area 51. Astrophysics. Nikki Moto, let me see. Nikki Moto, would you come up and be willing to talk to us about being an astrophysics at Area 51? I'd love to hear your story. And again, we give much respect to all our guests. If you've worked at Area 51 and you know things as astrophysics, we'd love to hear it. So I always ask, possibly. Frank Saucer. So, Nikki Moto, can I bring you up live on my program here? And again, if you come on, Nikki, we'll definitely treat you with a lot of respect. I go live with you, but TikTok has me banned because I work at Area 50. Let me see if I can bring you up. I'm going to try to bring you up here. Wait a minute. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to try to bring you up, Nikki. TikTok has you. Okay, I can bring you up. It says here, I'm pressing the guest button here, and I'm going to see, and I want you just to press the accept button. So I'm going to press this now, and you should be able to come up. Ashtar Command's working with me here. Nikki, whatever they did to you,
you freed me.
I was able to bring you up, brother.
You freed me.
I freed you. Welcome to the show. There's all kinds of beautiful things that happen on my program, and I never question it. So welcome to the Encounter Show. I'm also a talk show host at WESU NPR station for 21 years, but this is my visual part of what I do. Good to have you with us. I got to take my headphones off because they're not working right now and they're charged up. So welcome. You are an astrophysicist.
That's the aliens. They do that to me all the time.
So you're an astrophysicist?
Yes.
And how
I work for NASA. But don't tell them. They won't admit it.
So seriously, did you work at Area 51?
Yes. I snuck in and they caught me and then they held me for a while. And I had to work for them for free to get away. And then it got really crazy because they said I was a criminal. And I was like, I'm not a criminal. I was investigating. And then I had to go to court. And I won in court because I told them I'm Native American. And then they did a blood test. And they were like, yeah, he's got 1% American in him. And so they had to free me. But they took all my stuff.
You have a very comical sense of humor. I have a feeling you are a comedian by nature, correct?
No, I'm serious. They took all my hard drives and my flash drives and my magnetic drives. They took all of it.
I think, and I read energy, that you are probably a person that if you were on like Dick Cavett show or whatever, it's a late night show or whatever it is on ABC, you'd be there getting applause from people doing some comedy. I think that's you're a comedian.
No,
I
I'm
can
not
tell.
a I'm being serious. Ask me any astrophysics question and I'll answer it for you. You want me to get on the chalkboard and write it up for you? That's why I didn't go through college, because they wanted to know how fast the Earth spin, and I blurted out the answer. And then the teacher made me work the problem on the board, and then I did it. And then I said, "You want me to?"
Okay. All right. The commander knows. Let me see if I can bring my light back here. I think he is a comedian. I think Nakamoto has dreams of working at Area 51. Maybe someday he will. He might get on the Johnny Carson show. But, he was being clean with his words. So, Nakamoto, we might be able to get you a job at Area 51, but I don't know anybody in there. So, you're going to have to try harder. Yes, he's a true comedian. I know he's a comedian. I'm sure he does comedy on TikTok or something. But everyone, welcome to the show. This is Encounters, a little bit of sense of humor. The person has a sense of humor, I'll give him that. Oh, he was. He was doing that, huh? But we already knew that something was going to happen when I brought that person on. So there you go. Anyway, getting back to the cosmic realm, there was somebody on here who truly had family members working at Area 51. I think it was Karen. Excuse me. And I can't get my screen to go back lighter than it was before. I am trying. I did something here that actually changed it. Let me see. Is it working? Must be the magic or something. Well, anyway, we'll go with this for now. We have partly light picture of me here on the screen. Cartoon my dog. Let's see. Karen. Oh, Karen. Oh, no, Area 51. Somebody had somebody working in Area 51. So as we continue on here on our journey on encounters, if any of you have had any experiences, we talked about the aging process, which was good. We've got into that already. You've learned a little bit about how to control your aging process from the commander, which is good. Very good. And now we're going to get into trying to do some more interviews with people. If you have been having visitations this week, if space people are visiting you, we want to hear your story. If you've had UFO sightings, you're documenting, man, I can't speak English tonight forever. If you have any sightings, why am I not able to speak English? Let me rewind my voice. If you're documenting that's the word I wanted to use, documenting any UFO activity, thank you, April. And believe me, all I'm drinking is apple cider. I guarantee it. Oh, Stars and Art. Is Stars and Arts here? Stars and Arts, we're calling you. Are you here? Stars and Arts. The commander's calling you on the show here. I am trying to read comments too. I'm in a very jovial cosmic mood here, so I'm always feeling good. But I'm feeling the word jovial, which is a good word. I'm jovial tonight. With all of my wonderful listeners out there and people that are watching, I'm very jovial. So I am interested in. Well, I should probably get into a few things that I've been kind of meditating on. The thing that I find, I can see all our comments, and I'm like looking at comments. I'm not wearing my headphones right now, but people ask me quite often about contact, and they talk about all the things that are going to happen. I get this asked by private messaging on TikTok or through my email on CmdrAleon. People want to know what's going on. When's contact going to happen? And I think the most important, beautiful thing is to realize that it is starting to happen. Hey, Cal Suzy Q, I can see your comment. I'm looking at the scrolling of comments about cartoons or something. Cartoon my dog. Everyone's typing. And sometimes I don't see the comments until when someone says, "Did you see my comment?" And then when I say, "Just do your comment," I don't see it. It's really weird. Oh, it's a user. Okay. I'm reading comments right now. Bring cartoon on. Cartoon is, I see cartoon. I see cartoon, my dog. Cartoon, my dog is a TikTok handle, and they have been on the bases. So should I bring, my name is Kendall. Okay, let me bring cartoon, my dog up. Kendall. Oh, you're the owner of Cartoon My Dog. Okay. I do see Cartoon My Dog. We're going to bring you up here. Everyone's telling me to bring you up. I was reading all these comments. They're going so quickly. So I want to say welcome to the show, Kendall.
Thank you, Commander.
Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
And tell
How's
me a
it
little bit
going?
about yourself and what's going on.
About myself, well, I'm an illustrator. That's why my name is Cartoon My Dog, because that's the business I have. I draw people's pets as
Oh,
cartoons or
beautiful.
realistic pet portraits. But
Mm-hmm.
my name is Kendall, and it's also my TikTok is Kendall Artist.
Oh,
But
great.
yeah, so I mean, I've come in here from time to time, and I've seen some interesting topics that you guys have been talking about, and I've had my own experiences for a long time with beings from the Pleiades. They're just like us. They're just people. That's the truth. And I'm happy to share my story with everybody, because now at this time, I think a lot of people can agree that we are heading into some very interesting times.
Mm.
Very interesting times.
When did you start having contact, Kendall, with the Pleiadians?
Well, I mean, when I was a teenager, really, it probably happened even before that, because
Mm-hmm.
there was an incident where I had missing time, and
Hmm.
I mean, there has been a lot of experiences, and I'm not just talking about dreams, but also physically. And yes, I have been to one of the bases. It happened in my teens. That was really something else, because it was after that that the events kept on continuing, the
Mm-hmm.
visitations kept on continuing. I'm not talking about sleep paralysis or shadow
Right. No.
people.
You're
This
talking about
is
real.
Yeah,
Tell
this
us
is
about
for
tell
real.
us about the first experience on the basis. I find that interesting. Can you explain to us? And I'm sorry for the screen going dark, but can you explain to us what that base was like?
um well, the thing is that I was with military people, and I don't understand why. That's the
Hmm.
first thing. You see, they came to my house, and they picked me up and they took me there. But at that time, I don't think that that group was a positive group. And I was taken to a base by getting onto a train that was underground. So when I was with them, we got on the train, and then we got to a base. But when I got there, there were all these Apache styled looking homes. I don't know if you're familiar with Apache. They look like sand huts, or something
Mm-hmm.
that the Indians of the past would live in,
Mm-hmm.
or some kind of tribe. I have trouble describing what it looks like, because the area that I was brought to was like a desert. It looked like it looked like it could have been Mars for all I know, because
Hmm.
I did go somewhere and I did speak to somebody who was from Mars, and that they told me that was a war that happened there, and they explained this stuff to me, and they asked me where I was from, and I said, "Oh, I'm from Earth." And the woman put her hand on my shoulder and she was like, "Oh, okay." I mean,
Now,
as if it was like, yeah.
this woman that put her hands on your shoulder, uh, she was on the planet. She was with you on this planet,
Yeah, I don't know where I was, and I'm trying not to hop
right?
around too much, but basically that was a separate experience.
Right.
But I say Mars because the the place that they brought me to, I was in a Humvee vehicle with these
Humvee.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well, I'm
guess.
actually from Mars, and the Mars that I'm from doesn't have any of that. It's 10 to
Mhm.
15 million inhabitants that are very spiritual people. So that could be another alternate Mars on another specific reality.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a good point. I actually think that it was a base in the US. I'm just
Yeah,
saying that
I think it
it
is
looks
a.
like a
When you know
desert
what makes me
to
think
me.
it's on Earth, because you mentioned the Humvee and all these other things. It probably was in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it was a base in Arizona, like the person
Yeah,
Miller
that
is
makes more
calling the
sense.
UFO.
Yeah.
Because, and when I was going through there, the fences were turned, they were turned inwards, to keep something in. And the
Yeah.
buildings, there were people, there were other beings that were living there. I don't know what they looked like in
Hmm.
that department, but as soon as they brought me there, I really don't remember the rest of what happened, because they do have a way, and I know it sounds very fantastical, but they have a way of implanting screen memories into your mind,
Hmm.
and this technology that they have is very advanced. I
Hmm.
don't know what they're doing, but when
But that
I,
that was Kendall. That was one of your experiences. But you,
mhm,
as you said, you've had many. So that
yeah,
wasn't
pretty
when you
much.
met the Pleiadian people. That was after that.
Yep, this is specifically about the base, because that experience in itself was involving gray aliens,
Oh,
and
the
I had
the Zeta.
encountered
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
Yeah, so what happened was I had encountered them, and then the people from Pleiades who I used to know in a past life had intervened, and they had intervened in some way, because I met them after all this happened, and
Hmm.
I met Mira, who is on the High Council of the Galactic Federation. That
Hmm.
she explained to me a lot of very important and interesting things, but the encounters, they didn't last very long. But it was in 2011, at the time that I was going to college, that I met Myra, and I was completely blown away, because it just sort of just happened out of the blue.
Hmm.
I was taken, I don't know how I was taken, but it was just bam. I was on a ship. I turn around and I see her. And it is this woman who was wearing a blue jumpsuit. That's
Hmm.
they wear these uniforms that it can either be red, or sometimes it's most of the time it's blue.
Hmm.
But I have seen a few times that it's red, depending on, I guess, what classification they're
Right.
in, or what they're doing. Um, and they have sometimes an insignia on their chest, and then they always wear this belt. There's always this belt. I think that they use it for something. I don't know what it is. Their
Hmm.
whole jumpsuit is like one piece. Anyway, she had very long, gorgeous, beautiful, long blonde hair.
Hmm.
Nordic Swedish looking woman, and
Hmm.
very blue eyes, and she as soon as I saw her, I knew that I recognized her, but I wasn't able to recall everything. I just knew, oh my gosh, this is somebody
Mm-hmm.
I used to know. This absolutely is. And she rushed towards me and she gave me a huge hug, and that felt
Wow.
so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny because then she asked me, do you know what the Trinity is? I'm
The
like,
Trinity
I don't
is.
know what the Trinity is. What's the Trinity? And she explained to me that it has to do with the Holy Trinity. With,
The Holy Trinity.
yes,
Interesting.
yeah.
How did she define that from her perspective?
So when she was communicating with me, they look just like us and they speak like us too, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't, but they're using telepathy. So
Yes.
it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, everybody on the ship is using telepathy. They know where
Yeah, the
you are.
telepathic.
They
Yeah.
know, yeah, they
Yep.
know what you're doing. They know
Mm-hmm.
your intentions. That's the most important part. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I had a question, it would already be answered immediately, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm. It makes
Um,
perfect sense.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so she told me that this Holy Trinity concept is about consciousness and how everybody is all one together,
Mm.
that they believe that we're not separate from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked me also I guess maybe she was trying to get me to remember these things, or maybe
Yeah.
it was important in some,
Mm-hmm.
some way. But she asked me about the phoenix, and I'm like, oh, you mean the bird, the fiery bird? And she said, no, not the bird, the phoenix. And then I realized that later on she was talking about the ship. The name of the ship is the Phoenix
The name. So the ship, she
because,
said, is called the Phoenix.
yes.
Interesting.
Hmm.
What did she say about the Phoenix, the ship?
Well, that I mean, there wasn't that much after the fact. I basically figured that out because of the information when they're telling you, it just somehow clicks. You
Mm-hmm.
just know things when you're in
Mm.
that state of mind. Like I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
when I was with her, I was there, but it it was such a high frequency. It was such a different type of feeling, and they explained to me, we are just like you, but we reside in another dimension. This is
Yes.
what was explained to me. And I know it was so bizarre because when I was there, everything was just as it is here. It's physical. You can feel everything. It's right there.
Well,
So,
were you on the Palladian woman that you hugged? Were you
mhm.
taken to her planet?
No, I have never been to her planet, but
Okay.
I think that they have 32 planets within the Pleiades star system.
Hmm.
And so there's the seven sisters, right? The
Right.
seven
Seven Sisters. Yes.
stars, and then they have 32 planets within
32
that system.
planets. Now, did she tell you that they have 32 planets in that system?
No, they didn't.
How did you get to know that?
Well, I was doing some background research. I was trying to put it together, and
Hmm.
a lot of what I research, I try to be very careful because there is a huge amount of misinformation, and
Okay.
unfortunately, I feel like a lot of people have been misled and
Hmm.
so many everything from our ancient history. I
Yeah,
mean, guys,
I would agree with you.
this is ridiculous. The amount of information that has been distorted is
Hmm.
so sad to me because we as a people have lost so much, so many. There have been so many civilizations before us, And the thing is, when we try to figure out who was that and who did that and what does this mean,
Mm-hmm.
it always seems to be like a cycle that is repeating itself, where there's always, an event, large events that happen,
Mm-hmm.
and when we get to a certain point in our evolution and understanding, we look at this and we think, oh my God, it looks like there has been, a devastation, a war, a nuclear
Yeah.
event.
You're right about the whole thing with wars because people don't realize it. There's been galactic battles that have been going on for billions of years all over the universe. I mean, a lot of that's coming to an end now. But even for this planet Earth, as you say, that little part, we're going to continue because you're a fascinating person. There's battles going on right now by negative ETs that are trying to do a last ditch effort to mess up the planet and the human consciousness, and they're failing miserably at doing that. But that's a whole nother story. But continue on, because now when you were with the woman, and the Pleiadians are telepathic, they can verbally speak. Can you tell us? Did you get to talk to when you were on the ship? Did you get to talk to other of the Pleiadian beings telepathically? How did that work when you were in the ship?
Yeah, there was a tall blonde man who was assisting me because the first time I saw Myra, I don't know if it was a large or small ship.
Mm-hmm.
And what ended up happening was after that experience, my whole mind, my whole world was blown because
Mm-hmm.
I immediately called my friend and I told him, "You're never gonna believe what just happened." And then after I did more research, I started making
Mm.
drawings and I started getting distracted from the stuff that I have to do here, I guess. I still really don't know what my whole purpose is being here. I
Right.
don't know. But there were other experiences that happened after the fact that I am aware of astral projection, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, if I had this experience where I saw Myra, I should be able to replicate this and go to her and try to find
Right.
her. So that's what I did. And they
And
weren't too happy about that.
wait a minute. So when you met Myra, Myra's the Pleiadian woman that gave you a hug, correct?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So they probably were thinking, okay, we have this relationship with her, but they never probably thought you were going to find her again, correct?
I think I don't know what they were thinking, but I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that they were a little bit they started to get annoyed, and because they do have the same emotions just like us, they get
They
annoyed,
have human
get
emotions, yeah,
frustrated.
of course.
Say that. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
No, they have human emotions. The Palladians, yeah, of
They
course they do.
they absolutely have the same emotions. They obviously have a more evolved perspective because they have a leg up on what is going on in the
Yeah,
world. I mean, but well, I'll get back to that. But
that's okay. Go ahead.
she was very patient with me for a time because I just wanted to know the truth. So I was trying to get back there so that I could understand the whole story, who they are, where they're from, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And I ended up going back, but they always told me, no, 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 you can't be here. You have to go back to Earth. And they would literally say that. And
Why?
they
I mean, that was it not time for you to be there? Was it like it's not time yet? They want you to maybe did they want you to be there, but you can't be there right now? What was their thinking?
like Myra was glad to see me, but she was also surprised when it happened, and her facial expressions showed that. And she was always like, "Oh no, 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 no!" She was very concerned, and she was happy to see me, but she was concerned and had to send me back to my body actually because in some of the experiences they were physical and some of them were astral.
So you
Um,
had both, just so my audience know, on encounters, she she had both physical experiences where she was physically with the Pleiadians, and she also had astral projected experiences, and both of which are true experiences. So she had both. So again, understanding the Pleiadians are more spiritually evolved than the Earth human, but they also have emotions just like we do,
They
without
do,
question.
yeah. They do. And I know it's for some people, they're like, no, 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 extraterrestrials, they're all interdimensional, they're very kind, they are perfect, they are evolved, they have a higher consciousness. Yeah, that may be with maybe possibly another race that is like Arcturians or something
Hmm.
like that. But you know, they are our ancestors. They have the characteristics, the genes, I mean, different
Right.
chemical makeup and everything, but they have humor. They have an attitude. Sometimes they're not petty. She was getting frustrated because I, for some reason, was not supposed to be there. Like I
Well,
said,
the thing
she
is
was
about
glad.
the not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Um, I get the feeling sometimes when the spiritual beings might send you back because somehow it's not time for you to. Sometimes they say, "Well, how did the human being get to where we are now?" And they're saying, "Well, how'd you get here again?" But if you have the ability and you're accelerating into the point of being able to get to where they are through either physical connection or through the astral connection, you're getting there. That's pretty amazing. And I don't think they see many, planet. We have an Earth with billions of people on it, right? Everyone watching this, we have a planet with billions of people on it. And if somebody's able to travel to where the person was they met from the Pleiadians, the Pleiadian perspective, and you physically met her on both a physical level, and now you're meeting her on astral projection levels. That's pretty amazing. And they're probably wondering, how'd you do this? You evidently have the ability to do this yourself. And do you realize that you're able to do this?
Well, I mean, it gets more difficult because the thing is that draconians, reptilians have locked our pineal glands, and everybody should be able to do this. We have the innate abilities. We have a lot more than we can imagine
Hmm.
to unlock. I don't know how to do that. I have no idea, but we have been re we have we you know we have been engineered as slaves from a long time ago, right? And they
When you say engineered, so I work with the Ashtar Command. Maybe yeah, I should probably mention that. I came here from another planet. I also came here from the Ashtar Command, which are Christed beings of light. So I'm also a talk show host for many years since I've been able to do radio and TV and now this. So um, I don't think we're engineered. We all come from God. The universal thing is most of the spiritual space people say there's one creator and we're all connected, and that's really the truth. But there are beings that have tried to we mentioned reptilians. They've tried to stop the planet from remembering stuff and doing things to remember. And that's probably many in our audience and many people all over the world to remember who we are. And they did a good job until now because people are now waking up. And do you feel, what did you feel as you continue on with your story, which is fascinating?
Mhm.
Did the Palladian woman tell you anything, Myra, tell you anything about what their concerns were with Earth? Did they have any plans to, were they planning to make contact? The Palladians have contacted our planet for billions of years in different time frames. So what were you getting from that experience? And did you feel you were connected in sense of a family connection to Myra or
Yeah.
just as someone, how did she know you?
Well, I mean, like when I first saw her, I knew immediately, without a shadow of a doubt, that we knew each other. I just
Hmm.
didn't know. I should have known more information, but I honestly think that they keep that from me to protect me or to
Hmm.
protect the fact that so I won't get distracted because honestly, it's very distracting when you find out the truth of
Hmm.
things and you just want to know more. And
Mm.
I'm a very curious person.
Yeah.
So when this happened, I really wanted to understand it more. But
Hmm.
I definitely felt a kinship with them. I definitely felt like family. I was told, even one thing I forgot to mention is that the very first experience from beings from the Pleiades is that they didn't look like people like ourselves first. When they first came to me in a dream,
Hmm.
they were blue and they were just kind of see-through transcendent beings who
Hmm.
told me that I was Pleiadian. That got me started on the starseed information after that. And when I started looking into that and I started trying to collect and understand information, then I had the experience with the underground base and the subsequent visits from gray aliens. And
So
then
so there's not
Myra.
necessarily grays. Zeta, did the Zeta get involved with you after the Palladians or before the Palladians?
They tried getting involved with me even after the fact and before the fact. They were trying to do stuff with 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 how do I say this? Reproductive things. They were
Okay,
trying to
no,
get
I
involved with
understand
that.
that. Did the Palladians intervene, or did you have some positive level of intervention to stop that at all, or no?
I believe so.
Hmm.
It was
Now, when you
just
say you
hard.
believe so, how did that happen?
Well, I mean, I stopped having contact experiences after in 2012 when I was on the big, large ship. This is when I met the tall blonde guy,
Hmm.
and with Myra. Myra's sister was there. They're both captains, I suppose. I think
Yeah,
that that's the case because they were doing a roll call with people who also, they were wearing uniforms.
they were like the commanders on the spaceship.
Yeah, and they're always. I don't know what they are actually doing there, but
Hmm.
they're looking at screens. There are screens on the ship. There are many screens that they're looking at. They're also having their own lunchtime. I mean, when I was with the tall blonde Pleiadian guy, we were walking down the corridors, and they do have also they had different rooms. Like they even have their own classrooms, and
Classrooms.
yeah,
And how tall were they? Someone's asking how tall they were.
they're they're regular height. They're as tall as me. I'm like 6'1", so
Okay,
I'm already pretty tall. But they're pretty tall, and I think they can even be taller. But I'm not exactly sure.
right. But
The,
you saw some that were 6 feet one, probably some who might be 7 feet, which some of the space people are. But interesting.
But
Go ahead.
someone was mentioning comments about what they eat or food or something like
Yeah,
that.
food.
And they actually brought me to a mess hall. So when I was walking through the corridors, there was a place that they were just, relaxing, laughing, talking to each other, just like we would. And they
Hmm.
were sitting at the table eating. They had come from somewhere. I don't think that they have jobs. I think they do, but they don't have a
Well,
form
nothing
of
like there's not like jobs
currency.
like on Earth where everything 3D is like a job. You work at a department store, you work for a car dealership, you work at McDonald's. Not that kind of way. Their life is way different. And
Very
did
much.
you? Are they? Were they eating? Were they vegetarians? Do you know?
So I don't know exactly what they were eating. I wasn't, because we were
Hmm.
walking by, I didn't pay attention to what exactly they were eating. And you would think if I was there, why wouldn't I like try to focus more? But the point is though, the thing is that the guy was trying to bring me back. He was trying to bring me to a location because they disagreed. Myra was a little bit upset because when I had found them, she didn't want me to have a tour. And her sister disagreed because she thought it's okay, it's not a big deal. And
Right.
Myra thought, okay, I fine, I guess so. And I know it sounds like that they shouldn't be like this because I even had that understanding in the beginning. That
Hmm.
question, and they sensed it and they knew it. And I asked them. I thought that you were supposed to be like angelic. I thought you were supposed to be spiritual and understanding. And they explained, we are understanding, we are spiritual, but we are not like angels.
Right.
They're not
You know,
angels.
this is the
They're
thing people
people.
get confused about. Not everybody on other planetary systems are angelic. There are angelic planetary systems that exist that are in the angelic realm that are actual planets that are angelic. But not all space people that are spiritual happen to be angelic. I think that's a misnomer. But they are
Exactly.
spiritual. They have emotions. They have feelings. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't the Pleiadians sometimes, as family members with each other, disagree on something? It's a beautiful human emotion. The one thing that, and you're experiencing that, if the other sister said, why not let her go and tour the ship? And the other sister says, well, I'm not
Yes.
sure. You know, it's not like they're creating havoc. They're just disagreeing as family members what to do because you're
Hmm.
coming from Earth. You're on their ship. You came back to them. They didn't expect that to occur. But yet, you have this connection with Myra and her family. Something tells me there's more to the connection than just being that you were picked out on Earth to see Myra. You see what I mean, Kendall?
Yeah.
I think there is a biological connection with you and Myra and her family. What do you
It's
think about that?
I've always believed that, but there's no way that I can prove that. I
No, you
mean,
can't prove it.
yeah, unfortunately not. I would ask people to decide on your own, use your heart to discern what I'm saying. If it doesn't
Hmm.
feel right to you, then it doesn't feel
Right,
right. And I don't think people should just blindly trust what I'm saying either.
right. That's
Try
right.
to just,
You're
I
being
mean,
very transparent and very honest. But for you, whether people believe you or not, one of my philosophies of life is whether people believe or not believe what one says, that if you have an experience and there's 10 people that believe you and 10 people that don't, hey, that's their free will. If they don't want to believe it because they didn't experience that experience, that's absolutely fine. And you understand that. And you're not saying, oh, you have to believe me, which is a beautiful thing. You're just saying you're sharing your experience, which is important. And the fact that you had the experience,
I think
if
it's important.
you it is important. And if you believe and you validate for yourself, you had this experience, it doesn't matter what anybody believes out there in the world who's watching this. It's your experience. It's like if I have a pair of sneakers on that are yellow and purple, and so, well, I don't have those sneakers, so I don't believe your
What?
sneakers are yellow and purple. Well, I'm wearing my sneakers. They're right here. They're yellow and purple. You see them, right? They're yellow and
Oh yeah,
purple.
okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to say is, as
Hmm.
an analogy, it makes no difference what people believe or not believe. If you had the experience and you were walking those sneakers down the street that were yellow and purple, and no one had a yellow and purple sneaker, and I saw your yellow and purple sneaker, I would know that that sneaker was yellow and purple. My point is,
Yeah, yeah.
I read people's energies when I have interviews here, and I know you are having these experiences. I can tell you right now, without a question. And it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, for sure.
I think you are connected with them. I think you are connected with the Pleiadians, these Pleiadians, and I think you have a strong connection, and they know it, but they don't want you to know everything now. I think that you are, they didn't expect you to just surprise them and show back up again, but you evidently have the ability to do that.
Yeah, well, I don't know how they feel about it now, but
Hmm.
I haven't seen them for a very long time. They
Hmm.
kind of dropped contact after a little, I think there was maybe a couple dreams that I had after the fact because they have the ability to go in there and talk to
Hmm.
you if they want to.
Yeah.
It's just like what I said. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful to me. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go a little bit off topic and talk about my cats because me and my partner have unfortunately have a situation where we can't keep them anymore. And they came to me in a dream, my cats, as tigers. And they looked at me like they knew they had to go and they put their big paw on my shoulder. It was
Mm.
a very humbling experience. And this morning, I got so emotional with them because I don't want to let them go. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
But
understand. I have a cat, so I understand you.
about cats, I wanted to also mention that there were, I guess, lyrans or felines on the big ship that I was on
Okay,
back in
so
2012.
the big ship. you actually physically saw Illyrians?
Yes, they were. They were. I don't. I wouldn't say. I would not say. So the last experience when I was on the bigger ship, I believe. I'm not sure if that was astral or physical, but I
Okay, you
think
don't
that it was
remember. Okay.
astral. And but they were there, and they were. One of them was just looking at me because he was on the upper decks, and he
Mm-hmm.
he was intrigued that I was there. Like, okay, that's interesting. And I looked up at him and he looked down at me because he was on the upper deck. And I thought, what?
Right. You're the,
A lion
and
person?
he's looking at you as an Earth human woman and saying, "Who? How did she get on the spaceship?" Right?
Yeah. It's
Probably.
really, it's really funny. I do have some drawings that I
Mm-hmm.
did.
Mm-hmm.
They're not exactly the best. Well, I do have a small painting I did, so I don't know how I
Yeah.
could show that somehow, but
You can always well, if you have a drawing, you have, let me see it. You actually have the ability to show it on here. If you
oh
turn your
yeah.
camera on, do you know how to
How?
use the camera?
Yeah, but if I did it digitally, so I don't know if
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah.
Digital.
Um,
I'm not sure how you would do that.
no, it would TikTok would have to create a screen share, which would be useful since they
Mm-hmm.
just added an edit button quite recently. Edit your
Okay.
post button.
You want to bring your camera on? Are you able to go on camera?
I mean, I'm a little bit shy right now because I'm honestly in my pajamas. I'm
Oh,
in
forget that.
bed
Don't worry about
because
it. The pajama thing on this show on Encounters, don't worry about it.
I mean,
We're just we're glad to have you here. So the Pleiadians, you met Mira, you met her sister, you went into the what you call a mess hall, a place where the space people were eating food. You got to
mhm.
see that. You got a little bit of a tour of their ship. Was their ship pretty big?
Yes, it was absolutely enormous. So picture something like it looked like to me like a huge airport inside or a huge mall. There where there was like I mean I could try to give you a virtual tour inside my mind
Yeah.
if I could explain it like that. So visually,
Well, if you remember it, go for it.
imagine there's a corridor that it's almost like going to an
Not a
airport.
mess hall, but a place. If one person saying they don't have, it's not really a mess hall, for lack of a better terminology.
Yeah.
They do have a place on the
Cafeteria.
ship where people eat. So let's put it that way in general terms.
I said, yeah, sure. So I would just say cafeteria then. And it wasn't
Or
a large
something like that.
cafeteria. Yeah, it was a decent sized cafeteria. I believe the tables were like reddish colored.
hmm
I don't know if for some
Okay.
reason I picked that out. Um, and again, I don't know what they were eating, but anyway, if you're facing, if you're just standing and facing straight, there is a large corridor and it's pretty big. I mean, you can fit, a lot of people
hmm
it's like a mall, right? So,
hmm
and on the left side, there are doors, and these doors have different activities going on in these rooms. I don't know if they have kids that are doing classes. I have no idea. I peeked into one of the rooms and I saw that some of them are even doing yoga and they're
On the
doing different
spaceship, they're
things.
doing yoga. I would imagine, like
That's what I saw.
no. If look, the space people, our space family. I should um, I should say, my friend April, my sister, our family in the Ashtar ships have what they call the living ship, where they live and grow vegetables, and then the working ship, which is the ship where they do all the mission work. So what you're saying is absolutely true. That I would believe that there's schools on some of these really big ships. The children are in classes. There are people. When you're on a ship for a long time, there's other things that one wants to do. If this is a really big ship, Pleiadian ship, it's
Hmm.
probably a mothership or a starship that has
Yeah.
multiple levels, correct?
Yeah, it definitely has multiple levels. There are also children. I've seen even aquariums. There are aquariums that are there. There
Mm-hmm.
are museums that are there that
Mm-hmm.
people can. I'm not sure if that was on the ship particularly, but kids,
Okay.
there are a lot of kids. And
So let's talk about the kids. So when you were physically on the ship, did you see kids?
yeah, they were just in their own area with each other. and nobody was worried about them. They were basically, everyone knew where they were at that moment. But me, particularly in that moment when I was on the larger ship, I didn't see kids in the, near the cafeteria or anything there. I didn't see any kids
Hmm.
there. It was
Yeah.
mostly adults in uniform, very professional and sleek.
Yeah, of
The
course.
floors were white. The
Hmm.
floors are white. The doors, I guess, were maybe silver, and they actually were like regular doors. It wasn't like, Star Trek beep
Right.
boop up and
So
then the
your
door.
experience, just for people to understand, and again, this is your experience, Kendall. People have
Yeah.
to understand something when we're talking about these stories, that if a person's having this experience, it's their experience. If you have had a different experience with any kind of space being on a spaceship that is different, that's also going to be something that's possibly happening to you, wherever you are. So understand her stories about her experience, what she physically experienced with Myra and the Pleiadians. And that's her true story from, like I said before. If you did not walk in someone's shoes, how would you know what their experience is? You can only understand it through the words of that person, right? If I tell you a story that I went to Europe and I went to the most beautiful mountain in the world and found this galactic cave with artifacts from another planet, you would either have to believe me or not believe me based on me telling you the story, right? So the
Right.
same thing applies to any story that is applied here. And you're beautifully honest about your story. Some of it, you said you did astral, but also a part of your story is that it was physical. So you had a physical relationship, not just astral, but physical as well. So you've had two different types of experiences. As I'm listening to your story very carefully, you've actually had the beautiful experience of them in the physical coming on the spaceship, and then the other part of it is you went back somehow through astral projecting yourself, and you weren't supposed to be there, and you were there, and they were totally surprised that you
Yeah.
actually were there, which is pretty amazing.
Because I'm aware that we can do that. That's why. So when I
Yeah,
first saw Myra, I knew that it was real. And second, I knew already about astral projection. I knew that it was a thing. But I didn't focus so hard on it. I just thought where I wanted to go, and I thought, come on, I really want answers and I want to see them again to prove to myself that it really happened. But
yes,
anyway, the reason why I'm on here now today it's not just to like confirm, yeah, these experiences happen or talk about myself. I want to try to give people who are listening something that they can take for themselves, that they can that maybe it can be significant, maybe it can be about our history, or maybe it can be about something important, something of value,
hmm,
instead of just going, "Ah, I had this experience and this happened and
right,
blah, it was so
that's right.
cool." And by the way, I also want to mention that I don't do any form of drugs whatsoever. All of these were completely natural experiences. They happen on their own. Because I know in this area where people are experiencing seeing beings and things like this is a very testy area for those individuals who are practicing drugs or LSD or whatever, and they're trying to invoke an experience, which I don't personally disagree with. I think it's a very bad idea.
Yeah,
I know people who have gone down that road, and no. So
right,
I just want to put that out there and be candid. I don't do drugs. So,
right, and I
um,
get that.
okay, so I think now in 2024, all the stuff that we're dealing with, I feel like we as a people are expecting some big event to happen, and I think I just I don't know how to put it into words, but things just feel different to
Yeah,
me.
I know what you're saying. If you, I don't know how long you've watched my show here, But I can tell you, myself and my friend April up in Vermont, we can tell you that there is going to be at some point major contact on Earth. I want everybody who's just a new listener or watcher to the show that you're going to see contact on this planet. Don't believe anything the news media, the general networks around the world aren't telling you anything about this. This show is where you're going to hear about contact, believe it or not. Right on Encounters, right on my show here is where you're going to hear about it. And the reason why you're going to hear about it, everybody, is because it's people like Kendall who's sharing this story about this. This is a disclosure story. This is what the governments of the world don't want you to know about. This is what the BBCs and the CBCs of the world don't want to talk about. There is going to be major contact on Earth. I know this. I know this distinctly. I've been in this field for a lot of years. You know, I come back from a background of broadcasting. I've been a contactee, and I had contact with space people with light blue outfits in a flying saucer when I was a kid. So I can tell you that. And also, we're going to do one thing here. Right? I just had to do something here, and I just did it. But all this stuff is happening for a reason. And the media wants you to be like sheep walking around thinking the world is going to be like this forever and there's not going to be any extraterrestrial space people coming to Earth or any contact coming to Earth. I want to state this real clear, and I'm going to do it because I'm here to bust the matrix on my show here. You're going to see contact not 20 years from now, not 30 years from now, not even 50 years from now. It's already starting to happen. The stories people tell, like Kendall and all the guests I've had since last year, since I came on here, so many people are having personalized contact. I can tell you, as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring my friend up here, if she's able to come up here, and I want to share with my sister. You'll be interested, Kendall, in meeting my friend April, who's a really true friend of ours. She's in Vermont. And I can tell you that there is direct contact that is being planned for the Earth, and that contact is going to happen soon. When I say soon, we're talking about gradually in the year 2025, 2026. You've probably not heard this anywhere else, and if you have heard little bits of it, you're going to see this happen. April, good evening, or good morning, or whatever.
Good morning. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is my friend April. She's been on the ships now, if I count it, is it up to 20 times or 19?
19 times.
19 times in Vermont. So you're going to be interested, Kendall, in meeting my friend April, because we know that there's going to be direct contact.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're very close to it. But I would definitely err on the side of caution. Just because I think that the idea of AI and holograms and using this kind of technology is very much still a possibility to confuse people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the
doing
Earth
everything
base.
right now possible to stop contact from
Right.
happening.
Absolutely correct.
They're doing, and you hit the nail right on the head when, I wasn't sure if that was a word that we could use on TikTok, but, when you were talking about what they were doing with humanity and how they had enslaved everybody, and that's exactly it. That's what they have been trying to keep under control. And so, like the Ashtar Command has been, here quietly helping, stop this from happening, which is why they are, coming so often and why they have, there are so many of them here now.
Right. Yeah, and I said White Rabbit. I did say 2025, 2026. You heard it from me, the host of the show. Also, I can say it because I've had contact back in the 60s. That was my first visual contact of space people that look just like us. They're men and women. They're not ugly looking, people with fangs ready to eat human beings. They look just like us. And this is part of the misperception of world media, of movies, of everything else. There's stuff out there, even on the internet, Don't believe half of what you see on websites or what you see on YouTube or whatever. And even on TikTok, the negative stuff about ETs, don't believe any of it, because there's people out there promoting fear-based stuff that has nothing to do with the stories like Kendall's talking about and that April and I know in terms of the truth. Yes, so there's a lot. There's definitely those that have some power that are going to try to confuse the population on Earth regarding what's coming down the pike, but just don't believe it.
Well, I always try to stay away from the negativity.
Right.
Like I always keep it in the back of my mind because look, we do have reptilians here, okay? We do. That is just a known fact. I really couldn't tell you if they're going to go back or not, or what you said. I don't know about that. They have been the main issue here since time began. And not to be spacist or anything like that, but they are the ones who caused massive wars between people from the Pleiades, and there was, a massive wars that happened a long time ago. They have definitely taken information from us. They've hidden information from us. Everything about our history,
Mm-hmm.
everything that you can think of, they have distorted it. They've put so much out there that is misinformation.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly. And this is why this is one of the reasons why I have been going up so often as of recently, because they are giving me all this history to bring back to the people, to let them know the truth about what has been being hidden from us, and what has been, what is going on currently with what they are doing and what they are trying to do. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, like the last 2 nights, a group of reptilians came over my property and tried to drop some chemtrails twice, 2 nights in a row. And the Ashtar Command sent up like 4 ships to chase them down. I was taken up on the ships when they were apprehended and being questioned. And the Ashtar Command has set up sites around the world that have where what they do is they'll refurbish these ships that are basically like one-way ships, and they'll give them a choice. They'll say you're either leaving the planet and going back to where you need to be, or you're going to be put to the portal, which is, you don't want to be put to the portal, because they're not messing around.
Yeah, they are.
They're done.
The command, and she did have this happen in reality the other night on her property in Vermont. But the Ashtar Command, they most likely have the reptilians already.
Oh yeah.
So the reptilians are being caught. There are reptilians still on the Earth.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong about that. But the Ashtar Command, which is the people we work with, which we're connected with, are very beautiful spiritual people of light, and they are rounding up all the negative extraterrestrial beings that are trying to hide on the planet and still do their thing. They're catching them. These reptilians are trying to do some last ditch efforts to mess up our planet from living in a peaceful world, and they're being caught. The command is the ones that are going after them. They're putting them on, as April said, refurbished ships that are being sent one way out, and that's out of our planet, so they can never come back. These are true stories that we're sharing here, and you need to know this, because you're not going to hear this on CNN News or NBC or BBC at all, but you are going to hear it on my show here. And this is where you're going to find out what's going on with the situation. But as April's saying, they were trying to interfere with the air around her part of her land area where she is in the mountains. And they actually went after the reptilians, and I believe they probably already have them. Would that be correct, April?
They caught the first ones. I don't know if they got the second set of them. I'm sure that they did, because they sent 4 ships after them. So I'm absolutely sure they caught up with them.
They probably did catch them.
So I'm not concerned, because they ended up putting like 18 ships around because I have a large land area up in the mountains, and they put 18 ships facing straight down towards my place, protecting my property. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he's well
so
protected.
I absolutely agree with you, and I absolutely am doing the exact same thing, trying to keep my vibrations high, trying to keep my energy high, and definitely staying away from the negative, because you just
Absolutely.
you can't have room for that in your life. All
Nope.
that negative stuff needs to be pushed away, because it's not doing anybody any good to deal with any of that.
Yeah. And Right Rabbit show pics. You can't show pics of this because it was fluid when it was happening. It's not something you're going to show pictures of spaceships going after the reptilians. And so to be real, that wouldn't be happening. These things happened the other night, and it's just something that's not something that's going to be pictured. But it is a true story, and it's true information. Now, whether one wishes to believe it, hey, it's a free will society world you live in. And if you wish to say, oh, well, I'm not sure I believe it, that's absolutely fine. But it actually did happen.
Yeah.
And it happened last night.
Yep. There was people in my life with me when it was happening. So
Right. She did have witnesses watching her live when it did happen. So, yeah, we have people we know that were watching that.
But I think it's really hard for people to believe that something like in the comments, I know there's some people that are like reptilians, you know. I
Right.
mean, it's difficult for some people to believe that they exist because it's unfathomable to imagine, oh, how could there be another race, a being that is, you know, bipedal with an animal head, or, you know, these kind of things. They are underground, you
Right.
know, they have their own tribe, their own country that they have they have
Well,
access to underground tunnels. So they're all over the world.
and
They have
I'm
tunnels.
also going to mention Nancy Gordon is asking, do they mean us harm? The reptilians do. They do. That they're being rounded up. The reptilians that were causing problems for billions of years on our planet Earth and in our current history, they're being taken off planet.
Well, I hope so.
They are. They are
Because
being taken. I'm telling you, they are being. We're telling you,
I wish I
Kendall, and everybody listening, the Ashtar Command is going after the reptilians, and they are rounding them up all over the planet, wherever they are hiding. They are going to be taken off planet. That is the protocol right now, and even April can say that because she's been on the spaceships.
yeah, they definitely are doing that. They have a specific set of Ashtar Command guards that are out actively seeking out where these beings are hiding and doing their business at, and they are going right after them and rounding them up as they can and getting them off the planet as quickly as they can.
Right. In terms of, as the host of the show, I think Buff Silky, there would be no pictures, but people that I wasn't on the live last night or the night it happened, but 5 of the people initially in the room saw the spaceship going after the reptilian spaceship. And it was a portion of the very beginning of the live that I wasn't able to be on at that point of her broadcast. But again, when these things happen so quickly in a very fluid situation, you're not always going to get the complete picture or video footage of what is going on. So, but you're getting the information, which is more important than whether you see the picture. It's the information of what happened that makes it important. And you won't get this information on CBC News. You're not going to get it on ABC, on the Disney Channel. You're going to get it here. And I can guarantee you the information we're giving you here is absolutely correct. And actually, it's real information.
yeah, definitely not from Disney Channel.
Yeah, you won't get it from Disney Channel. Definitely
Oh,
not.
John. Okay. I thought it said John Carter in the comments, and I was gonna say it's a good film. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No,
um,
and Kendall, you're great. I mean, your experiences on the Palladian ship, the living quarters and seeing the different rooms, people on Earth has to understand that if you and I've not been on that ship or seen it, but from your story, we get to learn about your experience, and that's the whole thing with my show here is that if you have the experience, I honor everyone's experience as a host of the show. And on my radio shows for 21 years, I've interviewed
wow.
some very well known people in the subject matter, and I think it's really important. if we are willing to let our guard down and listen to the stories that people tell, we can learn so many things from other people, but we don't always do that because the human mind is like, wait a minute, I got to put my guard up. I don't know if I want to hear this. But if we let our
Yeah.
guard down and listen, we might just learn something, right?
Well, I mean, people are hypocrites. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
In
There's a
many
lot of
ways.
hypocrisy in this world, and unfortunately, a lot of people lie, and they just aren't ready
Yeah.
for a lot of things. I mean, it's going to be quite shocking what will be happening in the future. I believe that, but we
Mhm.
have to put aside our egos. Really,
Yeah.
even me, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I have stuff I have to work on myself, but we really have to work on loving ourselves more,
Right.
loving each other, and not being um just telling the truth, just saying it as it is. Like, who
Hmm.
cares? If you don't like your boyfriend's dinner that he made, don't
Right.
tell him. Like, this is just an example. It didn't happen.
Right.
This
I
is
know it's an example.
an
Yeah.
example. Just don't say, "Oh yeah, it's okay." No, just saying, "I don't like it. I didn't think it was
Right.
good." I
That's right.
don't. Yeah, I know some people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but you know what? Tough, tough. You gotta do it. Sometimes you gotta do it. Otherwise, it's gonna build and build and build. And
Right.
if you're not honest with yourself and you're not honest with your friends or the person in your relationship, guess what? There's no trust there.
Right.
And for the
And
ETs, it's trust is everything. It's
yeah.
everything for
And
them.
speaking of trust, Juliet, a friend of the show, says, "Who's removing?" I think she's saying, "Who's removing?" Uh, are you asking who's removing the reptilians from government facilities? I'm not sure. I think that's what you're saying, Juliet. If that's the question, uh, I don't know about in the government's facilities, but the Ashtar Command is capturing the reptilians that are not in any facilities. Maybe they are, but they're not going into government facilities. They are getting them in the fact that they're still around the planet in different places, if that is your question. Um,
I hope that's really happening because
oh, it's happening.
these
And
guys.
April will be the first one to tell you she just saw it happen the other night.
I was actually
Do
on
you have a?
I
Okay.
was actually on the ship with them when they were questioning the reptilians after they had gotten the first ship that went through and did that. I was with them when they captured them.
Can you give a visual description of what they look like?
The reptilians.
Yeah.
They I don't know how to explain it.
I don't know that she actually saw the reptilians,
I actually
but
did see them.
she didn't see the
Oh yeah,
reptilians.
they were very lizard like. They had humanoid type bodies. I would say like almost like alligator type hands because one of them was gripping onto a chair that they had them sitting in. They had them back to back, sitting in these two chairs while they were questioning them. And one of them kept gripping onto the chair, and he had four I guess like claw like fingers.
Hmm.
And he was gripping onto that chair pretty hard where it was like tearing into the material because he was really angry that he was being questioned. um and he did have like almost like a human mouth that he could speak out of, but it was more pointed. I want to say and his head was smooth. He had two ridges going over the top of his head, and like I said, very scaly skin. But the eyes are what really got me. Yellow, straight up and down, very very snake like.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, and they're very tall.
Yeah,
They're about 9 to 10 feet tall.
it
They,
would be to me. It would be like if an alligator had a human body,
Yeah.
oh
almost,
really?
except for the face was more round. The head was more rounded.
And also,
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Kendall, just for a moment, to get back to your tour on the spaceship,
Oh yeah.
um, and we'll go back to this in a second, but this is what we're showing you folks here on Encounters is real information, real things that really did happen. This is not like channeled or, made up stories. This is all real information. Now, your brain might say, I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a really hard time. So tell your brain to relax and tell yourself, okay, I can be open enough to listen, and maybe I can break away from all the program garbage on earth that I've been taught to believe. And now you're getting some real information. So it's hard to digest because you've been so programmed on this planet to believe what we've all been programmed. Let's face it, we all have. All the lies that we've been told. We've been
Yeah.
lied to for decades. And now you get some real information. You're saying, well, I need to get some more information before I could forget that. Let go of it and let yourself be open to some new things you've never experienced before. So when you were on the ship, the virtual tour, someone was asking that you were, about the virtual tour. Is there anything else that you were able to experience on the virtual tour of the ship, or when you were physically on the ship?
Wait, can you ask me that question again?
Well, somebody was asking. They used the word virtual, but I think what they meant is they wanted to know if there was more things that you were able to see on the ship when you were on the ship.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's also in the base as well, but that's a little bit that experience was a little bit negative. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're more interested in the
The
positive
positive.
part of your experience.
So yeah, I just remember again, like the floors were white.
Hmm.
Things were silver looking, I didn't, oh, I know that the walls were actually a
Yeah,
darkish bluish color.
dark
Yes, the
bluish.
floor was white, but the corridor, right? So when you first go into the ship, which the outside of it, for some reason, I had an outer picture of it that it's very, very long. They are like cigar shaped, long, huge football field length type of
Hmm.
crafts. Um, and they don't, sometimes they have windows, circular windows on the outside, like the scout ships, the
Hmm.
smaller ships, they do. The ones that belong to people from Pleiades, they are the ones that look like the old Adamski models. Okay,
Okay,
they
I've
have,
seen the old pictures
yeah.
of Adamski. I've read his books growing up. He's fascinating. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't read everything, but I would say that their ships are like that and Billy
Hmm.
Meyer, that kind of thing.
Billy Meyer types of
Um,
thing. And I've read
those,
Billy Meyer, and I've actually, some people that were in Switzerland many years ago gave me photographs of the spaceships, actual photographs of Billy Meyer in Switzerland of these spaceships, and
mhm,
also of the two women that were from the Pleiades,
Semyasi and
Samgasi and the other
other
woman,
one.
which are actually real women that were from the Pleiadian star system area.
Well, so the thing is, though, with the Billy Meyer case, is that some of the photos that are circulating online are on purpose faked because when Billy had the experience with those
Right.
people from Pleiades, they were either some of them were confusing him, maybe they were, I don't know, agents, and the
Yeah,
other
there was some
he was
people trying on the internet put disinformation photos and stuff out there to discredit his experience. And some people were gullible enough to believe the stuff that was trying to discredit him. But he actually, as a farmer, had one arm,
yep.
and he had a very real experience. And in terms of, I think Deborah was saying, I thought, Deborah, are you saying you thought that on the spaceship that April didn't get to see the reptilians? Are you asking that of us about the thing that happened the other night, Deborah? Let me go backwards here. I'm not going backwards, I'm going forwards. There's so many comments here. Um,
Um,
I'll just clarify it really quick.
yeah.
The first night that I went up, because I went up 2 nights in a row. The first night that I went up, I was actually on board after they had captured the reptilians. The second night, I wasn't on board. I was just coming back from being
Okay.
on off planet for 2 weeks.
Right. So the thing to clarify for Deborah, the clarification is the night before. Was it last night that you got to see the Pleiadians? Not the
The
Pleiadians.
4 ships
The,
going after that one, yes, and
the
then it happened 2 nights in a row. One they were
and,
trying to drop it off on the the chemicals off to like the side, like over onto my forest, and then the
Right.
second one was a lot larger, and they were trying to drop it right over my house.
Yeah, and the Ashtar Command stopped it from happening.
Yes, they chased them off with 4 ships the
And
second time.
the reptilians they captured, were they on the working ship? What ship were they on that they captured and that they
They
brought
were
them
on
on?
one of their working ships. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
and
the
these
ship
were
they handle business on.
and these were 2 reptilians, correct?
Yes.
So the reptilians weren't happy that they were captured by the Ashtar Command at
Oh
all.
no, no, they were not. No,
Oh.
they
And
were
that's the
not.
thing I want people to know. The Ashtar Command, the positive space people that we are connected with, are going after all the negative ETs that are left on the planet that have been causing a lot of mischief, havoc, and trying to do things like poison the atmosphere. They're being captured now. And this is something you're not going to hear on any YouTube UFO show or any other place. You're going to hear it right here on my program.
I also
And you might want to make
wanted to
notes.
clarify something else too. She is right about the different colored uniforms. When you were on the ships, their main colored uniform is the blue uniform, but they
Mm-hmm.
do have different colored uniforms, including gold ones that they wear
Mm-hmm.
according to whatever job it is that they do or whatever ranking it is that they do. And they do have like some of them wear some type of like jewelry, or not jewelry. It's some type of like markings on their uniforms that show like how high up they are in the kind of like their ranks, how
Yeah.
so they do have different colored uniforms. As a matter of fact, Commander's father was wearing a gold uniform when he was actually physically on the planet, placing down that triangular device that was pulling in when they were putting the moisture back in the planet that they had cleaned up.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, let's educate people a little bit about chemtrails. Okay, and how to kind of help with that, because
Mm-hmm.
there is something that you can do to protect yourself from them. So first of all, chemtrails, there are websites that are dedicated to debunking it, which you know, it's not, it is definitely a real phenomenon that happens. They spray every day.
Hmm.
And there are condensation trails, and then there are chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are regular condensation trails that happen from planes, and then there are the chemtrails that
Hmm.
have the even sometimes viruses and morgellons in
Yeah.
it even, which is caused from nanotechnology. Now, uh, DARPA and our military organizations are using actively nanotechnology. They
Hmm.
have, it's a secret project that they, maybe it's not so secret, but nanotechnology is something we already are familiar with. But the nanotechnology in chemtrails is so tiny that it is already in our food, it is already in our water. So what it does is they look like these tiny little spiders, yeah, and they are made of a special kind of titanium metal. And when it gets into your body, they have a tendency to stack up on itself. So sometimes it can cause a lot of problems, a lot of diseases. Now, how do you, this is one of the weapons that they use against us, but how can you protect yourself against it? Is by basically, there are different ways, but the most common thing that you can do is two things. Actually, one thing, but in two different ways. It is apple cider vinegar, and it can even be white vinegar. But what you want to do is you want to have 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, diluted, always diluted, because it's, you know, it's very um it's very, it can cause, it can cause ulcers in your stomach if you're just like, well, I'll just drink the whole bottle. I mean, some people do have that mentality, so I have to put that out there. So just
Mm-hmm.
1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar mixed in a cup of water. If you don't like the taste, you can put honey inside of it. And then that's all you have to do. And after you do that for a month or 2 months, you stop for some time because because there is a time that you can stop and then you can start it again 6 months after that, because they stop spraying for a while. They don't spray, I don't think they spray every single day, but if it's in your area and you feel yourself getting, I don't know, sick
Are you
because
talking about chemtrails? What's coming out of that, or in relationship? What are you saying? What they're spraying?
He's
Can you
yeah,
just
kind of
talking
give us?
about what's
chemtrails
in the chemtrails.
the
Oh,
chemtrails are what they are spraying. I mean,
right.
there's even been an ex-military
Mm-hmm.
woman who's worked with the Air Force. That she's I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying the right terminology, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name. I think it was Megan or Jessica. I can't remember. But she explains that when she was assigned to the data about the kind of stuff that they're spraying, she was in charge of the hazards, the chemicals, what the what she was being told to check on the list,
Mm-hmm.
the safety
Mm-hmm.
mat data sheet. Can't remember what it's called. And that's like a 40 something minute long video explaining that she was basically questioning this and saying, there are harmful chemicals in this. This is not good for people. We shouldn't be spraying this from the planes. And one of the generals came to her and said, I know you have a nice daughter at home, and I think that you should just not worry about this so much. So basically, the thing is, you guys, is that we have these chemtrails are always being sprayed, everywhere around the world, but that's just one thing that you can do to protect yourself. So if you want me to write it down, it can be written down, but it's pretty easy. And also, you could just throw it in a salad if you want. 1 tablespoon or even 2 tablespoons in your salad of apple cider vinegar. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And the reason why it works is because when it gets into your body after time and builds up, it will take that stupid stuff, the nano stuff, and it will break it down. Basically, it'll corrode it. It won't be able to respond or work anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
it's
Good information. Good information, Kendall. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why the elder fairy was also telling me about ginger. Ginger root is also a good thing. Like if you're starting to get sick from these chemtrails, or if your animals are getting
Mm-hmm.
sick, a safe thing that you can give to them to help with the sickness is ginger root. That also helps. And
And
that was given
everything.
to me by the
And
elder.
also, I want to mention people who are new to the show. Welcome to Encounters. Those who've been here for a good portion of the show tonight, you just found the show. This is the number one spiritual UFO talk show. I'm a major, well, put it this way, my background is broadcasting, radio and TV and all that other, whatever you want to call it. I'm on radio at WESU Radio. I'm on an NPR Pacifica station for 21 years. So my background is in this area. I've done some TV broadcasting in the early 90s. All the things I do are related to this whole thing. I work with the Ashtar Command, which is positive beings of light, star people, Christed beings of light that come from many planetary worlds. I'll give you some background really quick. I came out of the closet years ago. I came from Mars to Earth, and I had a biological Earth family. I have a cosmic family on board the same ship that my friend, sister April, has been on 19 times. On that ship, my mother, my father, my two sisters, and brother are on that ship. Now, this is a true story, too. So I just want you to know I've been working, before there's any internet, I've been working with the Ashtar Command for years. Before there was any websites, I've been working with Ashtar Command for years. Now, if you don't know what Ashtar Command is, I'll just give you a quick story. Just simply, if you take a coin and one coin has heads and one coin has tails, or if you take maybe that's not a good analogy, but let's just put it this way. If you take a positive group of people that are really, really standing in their light, and another group of people that are out to cause havoc, break windows, throw pies at each other or whatever, and get all kind of like that, you might say that's the negative connotation. And then you have the other people that are out to spread love and understanding and transformation, and they come from other planets, and they're here not to throw pies at people, not to break windows, not to throw bats in the air or whatever. So in that analogy, which is kind of a weird analogy, but I'm putting it that way, I work with the Ashtar Command before there was any internet, before anybody on the internet had a view about Ashtar, the command itself. The Ashtar Command is like the United Nations of peaceful planetary worlds, and they are here now. And when we talk about the positive contacts that are coming, they are coming. And if you don't believe they're coming, that's okay, because you've been programmed on this planet for over 70 years not to believe in the existence of life elsewhere. You've been programmed. We all have. I'm human. I was programmed to believe the same thing. Although, because I had a contact experience with space people, my belief system was shifted because of that. Because I physically had experiences with men and women that were human, that were beautiful, contrary to all the movies I grew up watching in the 60s that showed them being monsters, which was a lie. The space people are not monsters. The reptilians are no good, but the star people, the space people of light, do exist. They're real. They're physically real. They do exist. And
Yeah.
I'm connected to them. April is. Kendall, you're connected very much so from hearing your story with that Pleiadian one, Mira. You are very much connected with them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. By the way, the reason why I know her name is Myra is kind of funny because there was a time, the very first time when I saw her, the very first time she brought me onto a ship, when it was time for me to go, I suddenly became very much aware of everything, of that experience, of everything in
Mm-hmm.
the moment. And I was like, what, oh my God, oh my, wait a minute, this is real. Oh my God, this is real. And she was also aware that I was aware of that. But I asked her, what is your name? Just because
Right,
I wanted to know, who is this? What's going on?
right.
And she said, oh, Kendall, you don't remember. But I
Right, I
am,
remember.
yeah, you don't remember, but I am Myra of the High Council of the
Mm-hmm.
Galactic Federation. I thought, High Council? When I came out of that experience, I was thinking, oh my gosh, what? And that, and then all of a sudden, I just, it blew my mind so much. And her face, I'll never forget her face.
Yeah,
They are beautiful. They look like they're from the 70s. They
from the
really do.
70s.
I think they even made that style, I swear.
Maybe.
That
Don't
was,
they don't they look like they're from that movie Goldfinger or whatever it is, the what am I thinking of here? Austin Powers.
Austin
yes.
Powers? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do. They have flawless skin. They
Mm-hmm.
have flawless everything. I'm sure that they have technology, and they have their own gardens of plants that they have
So
to.
did you get to see their gardens when you were on the Pleiadian spaceship?
No, I didn't see anything
You
like
didn't
that,
get to,
but
you didn't, okay.
I feel like that's why I said they probably have that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff like how would you hydroponics?
Hydroponic.
Hydroponics.
I'm
Yeah,
going to,
I'm
They
sure.
do. They
Yeah.
do. Yeah, they
I'm going to
absolutely
suggest
do.
to you, Myra, before we sign off the show for the evening, I want everybody, first of all, to follow everybody. I always believe in positive inspiration. And I'm one of these people because I'm in the media and I do this kind of thing. I want to, first of all, thank everyone for finding us here. You're all beautiful people and well respected. If you're new to my show, welcome. I'm glad you found Encounters. We're on at 11 o'clock most nights. I might take a night off once in a while, which I need to do. But most nights we're on at 11 o'clock. And if you listen to my radio program on Pacifica Radio, that's Sunday mornings on WESU-FM at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Sunday mornings, I do an hour and a half show called The Cosmic Eye, dedicated to the Ashtar Command on Sunday mornings. So I'm really, I want to just say, I always say to people, I love you even if I don't know you. I always in my show will say, I love even a stranger out here, because that is what I'm here to do, is to bust the matrix and to spread the love, and also interview people and do what I do, which is I'm a talk show host. So I just want to say I thank you for your gifts and we love you. I think with some extraordinary things are happening on our planet. Kendall, I want you to do some meditation for the next, for just regular, for probably our 30-minute, when you have a chance, do some meditation. Remember Myra and telepathically communicate with her, because you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate with Myra through your consciousness and let her know that you wish to come back and there are things you wish to know about your connection with Myra. And also, I think you have a family relationship with Myra that she hasn't yet told you about. So I think that you can do this by interacting with her. Are you willing to focus on some meditation to telepathically communicate with Myra?
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, she. Are you gonna hop off here? Is that what's happening?
Well, I will be hopping off at 2 because I'm on the East Coast here. I'm not sure. I'd love to stay here all night, but I'm not sure I can do that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. No, I appreciate being brought on. Definitely follow the advice with the apple cider vinegar. The other thing is, I guess we can get into it another time. But when I was there on the ship, not the most recent one from 2012,
Hmm.
but before
Hmm.
that, they were showing me these documents about something to do with my mother, or not mother that I had, or something like that, because Myra had pointed out like this was your mother and da 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 da,
Hmm.
and I really don't I don't know what that all meant, but
Now, when
yeah,
she
the
said your
thinking.
mother, Kendall, was she saying this was your mother not biologically from Earth, or your mother from off planet?
She was trying to tell me that I had a different mom.
Yeah, you have a
And I
different
was
mom.
like, "What?" Yeah, it's
Every
I
star seed does. You're a star seed. If you
Yeah.
haven't figured that out yet, you're a star seed, and that what she meant by you have a different mother meaning that you are now living a human experience and going through your human life. But when your human experience is done and you've learned all you were going to learn, and you're done with the human body that you are in now, when you are no longer with us, your essence will go back up into space and
Hmm.
go back to your space body that is up there in stasis waiting for you, because space
Yeah.
beings live for hundreds and thousands of years. They don't see time and space the same way we do.
Mhm.
So that's why they all look like they're in their 20s and 30, they all look young. And that the reason for that is because they do not see time and space the same way we do. They have the capability of putting specific people into human bodies for the human experience. Does that mean like a meat suit? No, it doesn't mean like a meat suit. It means you're actually that person, like the person that you are now. But when you are done living this experience, your essence will go back up to where your body is, and either you will come back down and live another human experience if you haven't learned all your lessons, or you will go back into your body that is waiting in stasis up there. And that's the body that has a space mom, a space father, all that.
Right.
um
And I was also getting, April, that Kendall, as soon as you said that, you have your mom is probably either on that ship or on one of the ships. You haven't met your mom yet, but your mom is actually on one of those Pleiadian spaceships.
I'm getting that Kendall's her sister.
A sister?
Yep.
Oh, you mean Myra's sister is
I'm,
Kendall?
yeah, I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. But yeah,
Yeah,
the space being that met you and was
yeah,
showing you everything. She was trying to show you like basically family photos.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's a possibility. It wasn't like, I don't think it was paper. I think it was on a
yeah.
thing, like a screen
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
tablet. I don't know, but before I go, because I know you have to go, CMD. Um, I just want to say that it's very possible. Yeah, like I said, I don't have proof. I only have my experiences, but at
Well,
the
your
time,
experiences,
yep,
one thing about experiences, the word experience to me is proof. If someone hasn't had the experience, of course, you can't prove something that's not experienced, but you don't even have to prove it anyway, because if you have the experience, who cares whether, I always tend in my life,
yeah,
whether people believe I saw a spaceship 2 football fields in length, which I did in the 1980s, do geometric designs in the sky 1,000 feet above where I was, whether people believe me or not, I don't care. I just
yeah,
know it's my experience. I had it. Whether you believe it or not, too bad. It doesn't matter. You
No,
really.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
hop down
exactly.
now. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna let you pop
It was
down.
very
I
nice to
have a
meet you,
feeling.
Kendall.
I have
Nice
a
to meet
feeling,
you,
April,
April.
you're going to be given some rest from going on the ship,
I hope
and
so. I'm
yeah,
tired tonight.
I hope you sleep well, and thank you for coming up.
All right. Love you, brother. And it was very nice to meet you. And I love you, everybody.
Lots of
And
love.
also, if you wish to watch April, she's on usually late to early evening uh, on TikTok. And Kendall, you've been a blessing. I want you to keep in touch with the show. You've been a great guest. We will have you on again. If you have any, I want you to practice focusing on telepathy and contacting Myra. I know you can do this, and I want to give it a couple of weeks or whatever it needs to be. I want you to ask her permission to reconnect with her after all these years, because I do believe this to be true, that she, as April said, is this family member, a sister off planet. That's why she contacted you. I think
Yeah.
you have family on that spaceship.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot more to it. I just want to mention one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because when we're talking about the possibility of being from Pleiades, like I said, I was saying like, yes, I don't have the proof, etc. But I had I had an experience under hypnosis where instead of me finding out what happened at the base, etc., etc.,
Yeah,
I actually saw my birth, my own birth. So when April was talking about the essence returning back to Pleiades, etc.,
yeah.
um, so what I saw was that I was laying down, and they told me that I was going to go, to Earth, and that I was going to be. I don't even remember everything,
Hmm.
but what happened was when I was laying down, I felt myself dematerialize. It was like death,
Interesting.
but it was dematerialization. And then I saw my essence, that I was just a part of everything. And as a
Hmm.
movement of consciousness, I was moving towards the target of going into the belly of my mother. And
Of your human mother, correct?
yeah, yeah, my human
Okay.
mother. It
Hmm.
sounds so strange.
Interesting.
And then I saw my birth happening, and I saw
Hmm.
my father crying, and I became emotional during the hypnosis experience. But I wasn't expecting to see that in particular. I was expecting to find out what actually happened, why I was taken down to the underground
Hmm.
base. These things that was not good. So
Yeah, that's
so
still
yeah.
somewhat of a mystery, correct?
Yeah, so it's somewhat of a mystery. I think it will be for a while. I think when the right people approach me, not charlatans,
Hmm.
they'll
Thank
be
you,
able
Juliet.
to they'll be able to maybe tell me, what it is, because there's just a lot more I haven't said, and I'm not, it's
We'll have
just
you back on. There's a lot more to you. Are an incredible person. You have an amazing true story, and there's more to your story. And Will you come back on if we invite you back on here?
Yeah, sure. If
Okay,
I
great.
have the time. And thank you so much again. Thank you to everybody. Um, yeah, and next time, yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But focus on telepathy. Focus on conscious to conscious communications with Myra, because I absolutely, truly, I'm getting this for you. I'm getting this information for you. That she is willing to communicate with you if you're willing to make the contact. Keep it at a conscious level, telepathy with her, and then eventually say, ask her if they are willing to bring you back on the spaceship, that you're now ready in this time of your life in learning more, and that you wish to do more, to help the planet, the Earth that you live on. I believe that Myra will be more willing, and the rest of the family that you're connected with on that spaceship from the Pleiadians,
Mm-hmm.
I think they would be willing to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I know I'll be working with kids, but
Yeah.
but as an artist, I know I'm supposed to do something. I just don't know exactly what it is. If I it's supposed to
And
be a
you know what?
children's
The
book or
beautiful
what,
thing
I
is,
don't know.
Kendall, you have plenty of time to figure that out.
Yeah,
But yeah, but the main thing I keep getting is to tell you that you need to reconnect with Myra. You need to do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I think you just have to like end it, right? And yeah.
Well, it's like I also need to get some rest time because it's 1:51 a.m. in the morning. Where are you located?
No, I mean like you have to press the button to take me off.
Oh yeah, to take you
Well,
off. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm located in the Czech Republic actually. I moved here from
You're in the
USA.
Czech Republic. Oh wow.
I
Okay.
am. Yep.
Wow.
I was in Greece
Well,
before that. Yeah.
welcome from the Czech Republic. That's my first interview from there. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Kendall. You've been great. I really think you were phenomenal. I want to thank April for coming on here. I want to thank everyone here. I want everyone to follow the show. Follow me. If you're not following me, follow me. We want to get to 100. What's it? 1,000? We want to get to 100,000 followers before summer or through summer, and we want to spread the show even further out than we are now. It is a really popular program, but we want to really reach out to more people to get the truth out there. And this is the show of any show on YouTube or whatever. We are doing an actual show here versus just being on here goofing around on TikTok. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for all being here. We come on at 11 o'clock usually, and we also go to my YouTube channel. This show will be downloaded on YouTube if you missed part of it. My YouTube channel is Ashtar Command Spaceship News. Write this down, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. You can watch all the previous shows on YouTube, okay? Also, Sunday mornings, my show on Sunday mornings on radio, NPR Pacific Radio, Cosmic Eye Radio, Sunday mornings East Coast at 11:30 a.m. And then coming up May 25th, we're doing a Ashtar Command contact gathering in an apple orchard. We'll be broadcasting live in the apple orchard here on TikTok, and you'll be able to watch us. We're going to do a meditation, and we're going to hopefully video record some spaceship activity of the positive kind. So that's it for tonight. We're going to drop Kendall down. Thank you, Kendall. And
Thank
let's do
you.
this. Thanks for being here. And I'd like if you can do any gifting. For those who are watching the show, please show your support. You can do my Venmo app, which is on my main profile page, or any TikTok gifts. If you've really had a good time on the show watching this, something that you felt really was real. Alexis, thank you for the roses. All gifts are well appreciated. TikTok gifts are definitely River Blue. Thank you. We appreciate all the gifts from everybody as we get towards the end of the show. It's been a long night, but we've had, as again, thank you for the hat, Juliet. Thank you for the flowers, Hetty. Thank you for the bracelet, Hetty. Thank you for the team bracelet. We appreciate that. Any galaxies out there from people, we certainly should set a goal for galaxies. We can use a few of those tonight. I'm going to put that up there. So as we wind down the show, Where are the galaxies? They're here somewhere. Oh, here they are. So if you have enough to do galaxies, we're going to do galaxies, and we're going to do 8 of them. I think we are. Yeah, we're going to do 8 galaxies. So right now, thank you, Juliet, for the roses. We appreciate that so much. We love everybody out there, all the new people. Wherever you are, we love you on this show. And we care about everybody. We're working on a lot of levels here to get the truth out. And the truth is, people like Kendall, who are coming up here sharing her real, true stories. This is disclosure, folks. This is the essence of disclosure. It's not waiting for the U.S. government to come forward with former generals from the Pentagon. It's happening right here on my program. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So we appreciate all of you. We appreciate all your gifts, all your support. Feel free to uplift each other, follow each other, get to know each other. And we're just really, I know you are kidding there, Kendall. Feel free to just, be who you are. Break away. We've been conditioned for so long on this planet with all the garbage on TV and cable that we don't even know what the truth is anymore. But I can tell you, you will get some truth here if you watch this show. I guarantee you're going to get some real information here. You're not going to get it on some fancy YouTube studio person wearing a suit interviewing a former general from the Pentagon, but you will get it here. I guarantee it. I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to sign off the program for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. And we hope you'll join us then. We never know what's going to happen. We never know who our guests are going to be. I never know what I'm going to talk about in this realm of discussion, but it's always going to keep you on your toes. I guarantee it. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.